not a lecture. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
More.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Big ups, big ups, big ups.
Realer than most. I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Self love. Vision. I'm just a kid from Chicago. Yes, sir. I'm just a kid from Chicago. That's it. Yeah, buddy. Chi-Town, stand up, Chi-Town. Well, I mean, if you're relaxing at home, you can sit down. Big ups, and what down. Welcome to Chi-Town's very own, the Self Love Show, where our motto is on earth as it is in heaven. Big ups to the ancestors. All praise due. And we also say, as above, so below. We could be found right now, Malcolm exclusively, right here on the YouTube channel. This Ain't That Network. So if you're looking for a mainstream narrative, this ain't that. Because this is TATN. TATN. This is your co-host, 9 Millie. Also one of the selves. What down, Chi-Town, what down? Repeat after me, if you so choose. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse. One more again. I am greater than my excuse. Today is Hump Day, Wednesday, July 28th, 2021. And thankfully, we could be any place in this vast universe. And we all Scooter chose to be here together. Here together. What down, Mr. Wordsmith? What you manifesting today, bruh?
Oh, love. Self, I'm manifesting love. What about yourself?
Man, you know me, bro. Pure, magnanimous, sometimes gentle, oftentimes tough, uncut, unfiltered, unfettered. God's love, G. God's love.
No doubt.
So what's up with the going on in your neck of the shot today, fam?
Man, this hot weather brings out these blicks. It's just been a lot of blick action. Y'all put them blicks up. Stop all that. Stop all of that.
Yeah, you mean just running up and down the street, just opening fire and shooting at people?
Well, I mean, it sounds like the 4th of July around here, and it's not fireworks.
I mean, literally taking life. If you think about the value of life, your DNA, your genetic code, your lineage, people are, I can be traced back to. Yeah, you're only tracing yourself back to a child. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking at the lineage of your ancestors, you know what I'm trying to say? I could be traced back to King George III. I'm just saying, stop the killing, because, if human beings have been around for millions of years, your ancestry goes back what, Self?
Millions of years. We're all from the same squad for the most part. So.
Yes. Yeah, for the most part. Well said. Well said, bro. Well said. So, but yeah, today, as always, for those who may not know, the Self Luv Show, it's a thought experiment. Lessons, not lectures. So we're going to go over the quote of the day. That's the self-love quote of the day. And we have a Did You See segment, our To Move or How Not to Move segment. You choose. The Riddle du jour, the riddle of the day. And then our guests, our panel. So we're going to be we're going to be discussing or unpacking Black hypnosis. Its many applications, medical science, can be used to treat trauma. Lord knows there's a lot of trauma in the urban community. Then we'll, give you a sneak peek at next week's topic and, the co-host summary. And then, of course, my personal favorite, that's when Brother Wordsmith gives his Wordsmith's final words and puts everything in a metaphysical bun for you out there. Announcements, beta links. You guys, support beta links. All right. You're playing golf, you're buying, sponsorship of golf holes, things of this nature. You're giving money, you're buying plates, but that money's being used for scholarships. Your African-American kids down there at the University of Illinois. Beta links, right? Self Love.
Absolutely. It's pertinent that, we get this going and continue to help students get to better positions.
Facts. Tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central, we got Mouthpiece Included right here, TATN. Richard Sherman or Trevor Bauer. Which one would you want to ask if you had to choose, you had a gun in your head, blickety blick. You had to choose which one was going to hold your daughter's hand in marriage. Which one would you choose? It's politics. That's what we talk, politics and sports. Open panel. All are welcome tomorrow right here on This Ain't That Network. Self Love, you got any announcements, bro?
Just prayers, continued prayers from my neighbor, his family. Just continued prayers. Thank you.
Facts.
On top of that, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, share it far and wide.
Man, comment. Also, speaking of comment, we'd love to hear from you. This is a live stream. So if you have any related experience in today's topic, meaning you have, maybe you've been put under before, so to speak. Maybe we should say put over, but maybe, you've been hypnotized. Maybe you put someone under. We want to hear about that. And then also your location. let's type that in the comments. It's another thing that the algorithm, which is a dancer, the algorithm appreciates it.
Absolutely. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell far and wide, as Nine, eloquently put it. And we are organically growing the Self Love Nation. 344 strong right now, and we're looking to get bigger, and we need your help. So please share with like minds. It's of the utmost importance. And as always, we have a very important video that we are building the Self Love Nation off of, our platform, the More Growth and Development platform. And I need you to pay close attention to that. But before we get to that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. Never fight a lion unless you are a lion yourself. Never fight a lion unless you are a lion yourself. That's an African proverb. And we're getting over to our platform. Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Let's get that gap closed, ladies and gentlemen.
Get her closed.
That gap's wide open, and we gotta get her closed. Man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, we had a fantastic show. What was that? Wednesday? This past Wednesday?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys, I know you guys need content to watch out there.
Absolutely. You gotta check it out.
So, we, I'm surprised that the thing didn't get pulled down, but I'm still waiting, sometimes it takes the algorithm a while, but we talked about the jabbity jab and Peter Pandemic. We had 2 medical doctors and, a pastor.
Great information. You must go and look at that.
Yeah, we unpacked the Delta variant.
Man, gems.
To jab or not to jab, that's the question. So the name of that, the title of that video, it's COVID-19. It was featuring Dr. Robert Gay and Dr. Joseph Coney and Pastor Brian Stewart. You could find that right here on TATN. Explosive show. And I might say you'd find yourself entertained as well, huh, so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Nuke, but
edutainment.
Yeah, big time edutainment, bro. Big time edutainment. But did you see the video of 12? There are heroes and they go right towards danger.
No, man. I'm pretty much unplugged.
Well, we got something queued up. Big ups to production. Small ups to 12.
Get me plugged in.
Police officers run from a crime committed right in front of them. Surprising video shows a man pull out a gun and start firing right before officers take off. Glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 6. The department has now launched an investigation into what was captured on the officer's own dash cam.
Defender Sean Lay has been digging into this all day. And Sean, you're finding these officers could face some real consequences for this.
Absolutely. One officer right now already suspended, facing some discipline within the department. However, both officers involved in this could be potentially charged criminally
suspended
outside
right
the
away.
department. The chief talking about this now.
Didn't even kill
after
nobody.
This video was made public. Detroit police officers are right there as a gunman hangs out of the back of a car and fires shots at a man hitting him. This is from their own in-car camera. In a shocking twist, it appears those officers just speed away instead of jumping into action.
This incident is troubling.
And then they sped in front of it.
With our training.
Chief James White forced to answer our questions about the officer's lack of action when this video came to light last night.
I'm wondering if they called them.
This took place back
I guess
on
they felt
June
like
the 30th.
he couldn't turn around.
The gunman and people in the blue car.
Hey, man,
Did police let
I'm
them get
wondering
away?
if
That's
the
part of
Popo
why
called
we
them.
are very concerned.
Told him, he over
should
here.
have had an opportunity.
That's what
to
I was
get them
thinking.
off
That's
the
what they
street.
Did those
investigated.
same officers
Sure.
come back to help the man who was shot?
They did. They did, in fact, circle back to help the man that was shot in the leg.
Did the officers even call the shooting in?
Yes. And I'm going to leave that there because we're getting into the meat of the investigation.
Shocking is an understatement. I think we all have the idea that the police are supposed to head towards danger.
I think it was
as
a
we all
Karen.
are running away from it.
Local 4 legal analyst Neil Rockine says not only can
They're
the
the ones that
officers
get tough
face
when all the
discipline
other white
within the
boys show up.
department if wrongdoing is found, but they potentially could be charged with a misdemeanor for what we see here.
And for whatever reason, you ended up essentially abandoning your post. That can potentially be
Fair use.
prosecuted as
Educational
a
purposes.
misconduct in office type offense.
Back here live at the department, the chief says he immediately suspended when he became aware of this one of the officers. The other in that car is on medical leave. The chief says when that officer comes back, he wants to have a long talk with both officers to see what they were thinking when they
He's
took
smart.
off at that moment. We're live downtown.
He's
Sean
going to say he was
Local-
psychological.
Disturbing on so many levels, Sean. We appreciate it.
I mean, right there to witness
Wow.
it. First of all, how not to move for the young men that are shooting the blick. Don't you even look around anymore before you start shooting?
I mean,
No?
they could have shot you. I mean, what the? It was that important to shoot him that the police was not a factor. Either that or the police is the one that called him and told him to come there.
Well, I mean, that's what made me think that, and
Yeah,
you
'cause
know, I don't
Most police, they would have, stopped out and shot that guy.
rammed a car into him or something. Man, drove in front of him and drove off. Man, I know they was like, can you imagine what they were thinking? The shooters?
No, not at all. I'm like, man, why you wasn't paying attention? Nobody paying attention.
Man, we've been popping pills, drinking lean all night.
Y'all didn't see him over there. He got me hanging out the window. They got me on the dash cam.
You know that brother back there with the blick. He on Sherm.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, as sad as it is, they out there securing the neighborhood. A lot of them get their minds, right. You know what I mean? Get themselves into that mind state where one of those demons can slip into. Well, we might get into that kind of talk. We got some subconscious type of cats coming into the
Right.
in the house today. But before we do that, I did want to. Unless you had something else to add about that. You had something else to add about that, Self?
No, it was completely asinine, and those officers probably should be, terminated. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, they should. The one should have been suspended right away. But I'm saying, so if they would have killed that guy, right? If that guy would have been laying out of the window and was, hey, Worm Smith, you left your cell phone. Pop, 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 pop. Well, we saw him reaching his hand out the window, and he had a knife. We thought it was a knife or a gun, and we thought he was going to shoot the guy. We shot him. that person would still be having a job, would not be suspended.
You might be off the street, might be off the street on administrative leave, but still getting paid, and
And then so the reward, the reward, the promotion.
Yeah.
They all get promoted.
Crapulous.
Yeah, they all get promoted. But enough of that one. I did want to roll into this one is to move or not to move, somewhat. But you and I on a previous show, we were talking about how the Blicks were ending up on the streets, getting into the hands of the Los Angeles area Pookies, the gang members, right? Allegedly. And it was coming from the military. Remember, it was a news report.
Yeah, I remember.
It was, how could this be happening? And then we suggested, well,
going on,
if it's happening in LA, then guess what? It's going to be happening in Chicago. Well, ABC 7, there's a thing. Big ups to production. We pulled up here. Yeah. Huh?
Judy, the I-Team has learned tonight there are new federal grand jury indictments against 3 soldiers who allegedly operated a gun pipeline between their home base in Kentucky and Chicago. The operation discovered after a mass shooting on the southwest side last March. Tonight, a new allegation that one of the guns in the pipeline was bought at a store on the Army base.
As long as you are an active duty soldier, you're able to purchase a firearm here.
This gun department at the Fort Campbell on-base exchange, seen in a promotional video on an Army YouTube channel, is where prosecutors say one of the weapons was purchased. According to this newly filed indictment, a Glock 9mm pistol similar to this one advertised on the Fort Campbell store website was illegally bought and provided to someone else. The 9-count indictment charging soldiers Brandon Miller, Jarius Brunson, and DeMarcus Adams with filing fraudulent federal paperwork to buy numerous guns, claiming the firearms were for their own use when they planned to sell them in Chicago and elsewhere.
Callers say 15 to 20 shots fired. There are people running on the street.
Federal investigators say the gun pipeline was uncovered during this mass shooting at a so-called pop-up party on March 26th. Guns found on the scene of the Chicago shooting were traced to recent purchases in Kentucky and Tennessee, according to law enforcement officials. Dozens of shots fired here, 1 killed and 7 wounded. Authorities said the accused servicemen illegally sold at least 90 guns to buyers in Chicago since late 2019. As the I-Team reported last spring, the servicemen were allegedly investing their profits to recruit other soldiers into the scheme. 22-year-old Army soldier Brandon Miller has been described as the leader of the gun pipeline to Chicago, where he is said to have connections. No comment to the I-Team tonight from federal prosecutors in Nashville, where those 3 Army soldiers have now been indicted. And attorneys representing the service members have not commented on the charges either, or this new allegation that one of the guns was bought at the Fort Campbell base store.
Can't help but think that that Pookie right there is a scapegoat, that they're going to put the face on these guns on the street coming from the black guys.
Man.
Not saying they're not guilty of that. That's how not to move. But what I'm saying is the face on everything awful is always Pookie.
Yeah, the narrative.
Yeah, Pookie's making all the Pookie's the reason all those guns are on the street, Self.
Man,
Yeah. Pookie manufactured them.
And handed them out.
Yeah, and put all the kids in slow classes and didn't educate them.
Allowed a soldier to buy 90 weapons for his own use.
Yeah, so that's how not to move. But we have the another segment. Unless you would disagree, Self, is that how to move? You want to make some extra cash out there? You ruin your military career?
No, that's definitely not how to move.
All right.
You don't buy things with your identity and then sell them for use on the street when they're connected to your identity. That's very much not
How about this? How about this? Whether it's connected to your identity or not, you don't put guns on the street that can be used to murder our people for profit, whether they can trace it to you or not. How about that?
Not. Yeah, that's better, but it's just more asinine when it's attached to your name.
It's asinine either way. It is asinine either way, because the end result It's our kids being killed, and you made a little money in your pocket. So find another way to make money. But if you want to make money, like Self said, you go ahead and, deal with your maker. You know what I mean? But yeah, so we got another one, Self, on our How to Move segment before we introduce our guests. Yeah, so if production could go ahead and pop that up, I'd appreciate that.
Now to a buzzer beater at last night's Scripps National Spelling Bee.
14-year-old Zaila Avant-Garde, a spelling and basketball star from Harvey, Louisiana, beat out more than 200 others to earn the championship trophy. The final word that did the trick, Maria.
And the champ up early this morning. Zaila, congratulations.
Thank you. How are you doing?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
So here's the thing. You're the first African-American winner. You're the first winner from the state of Louisiana. And as I understand it, last year you finished 370th, and this year you win the whole thing. How'd you do it?
Cheated last year.
A lot of hard work. And my tutors, they helped Coach Schaefer Ray, who's like my main tutor. And over the last few weeks, Sneha Ganesh and her mother Vijaya have been helping me a lot. And also a bit of luck. And yeah, that's
a bit of luck and a lot of talent, my friend. Okay, so here's what I want people at home to know. So obviously winning the spelling bee is everything, but listen to this. You have other awards. I was just reading this morning. You have 3 Guinness World Records for juggling and dribbling multiple basketballs at once. Are you aiming for the WNBA and spelling on the side?
Yeah, going to Harvard to play basketball and then maybe going to WNBA or overseas or something before I go into my next thing of working with NASA or something like that. I'll be a basketball coach.
I would bet money on you doing all 3 of those things. Zaila, how are you going to spend that $50,000 prize money?
Well, when I won $10,000 for another spelling bee, I said I was going to stick it under the floorboards for security. But I don't. $50,000 is that would be a lot of dollars, and I don't think my floorboards could fit it. So
I think they're.
I'm sure. Yeah, probably.
So really quickly, I want to squeeze this in because it doesn't happen overnight, and I know there's a village behind you. So kudos to your family, your teachers, your friends. What does your family think of this?
My family thinks it's really cool and stuff. Especially my father and stuff is really happy because yeah, it was kind of his idea to put me in spelling, with of course it was both me and his idea to put me into spelling. So he's kind of the main impetus behind it. But my whole family is super excited.
I can only imagine.
Absolutely.
Juggling and dribbling a basketball
the future
at
is
the
bright,
same
no
time.
question
They
about
said
it.
that one.
Zaila Avant-Garde. We'll have to remember your name. You're 2021 Scripps National Spelling Bee champion, and you're here with us on the Today Show this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's definitely how to move, people. Self Love has something, a different point.
I couldn't hear you, at the thing running in the background.
Oh, I said it's definitely how to move. That's
100% how to move. Was doing very well in basketball, but decided to take on spelling bee. That's how you move, to expand your consciousness. That is definitely how to move.
That's right. And big ups to the parents and grandparents. And as they said, it does take a whole village. And live your dream, kid. Live your dream, child. And, we just hope one day it won't be for NASA. We just hope one day it'll be, to dream to build your own rocket for your own company, like Bezos sent his penis up there. Yeah, Jeff Bezos. But that's who it was, right?
Bezos, yeah.
Hey, but enough of this, man. We got a lot, and I think cats want to get into the topic here.
Yes,
self love. So
enough for the appetizers. Let's get on to it. Quench the self-love nation's thirst.
Facts. Let's get her done. And we got the guests waiting in the cream room. So If we can go ahead and start that, appreciate your production. And we'll start our introductions shortly. So next week, bro, right here on the Self Luv Show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, that's Chi-Town time. We're doing the urban hypnosis. We have two artists, genius, at tapping into the subconscious out there. So yeah, we're that's going to be the Brain Bully, aka EmerG McVay. He was on the Self Luv Show, one of the earlier shows. And then we also have Anthony Orr, another experienced hypnotist. So we've got two gentlemen that's going to be on the panel for you guys on July 28th. You know, a lot of you guys are still, smoking the white man's penis. Meaning, you got cigarettes you're smoking, et cetera, et cetera. We all got things we do. And, they could, discuss, how, hypnosis can be used, to get that white man's penis out of your butt. Being a cigarette.
That's not a good analogy.
Hey, production, if we can lower volume, please. Well, I mean, I don't know if we could say that on YouTube, but all right, we you guys we got our panel next week. A talented panel stepping in the building, and as that was just eloquently done by TATN, we got EmerG McVay, the Brain Bully, hypnotist, rapper. He's been in the rap game, I know, 30 plus years, and I know that his craft of hypnotherapy he takes very seriously, and he's damn good at it. Secondly, in the building, we got Anthony Orr, author, also hypnotherapist. I don't know if they'll call themselves that. And so that's what we got step in here for you guys. And we got some very good questions set up. And also, if any of you all have questions, please type them in the chat. We also dropped the phone number into the chat as well, where you can call in. The phone lines are open. There's a modus operandi to our line of questioning here today. So,
absolutely.
Let's see.
Right. Yeah. I want to thank y'all for doing this. It's going to be a great conversation. I'm looking forward to expanding the Self Love Nation, and welcome to the Self Love Show.
Brother. Gentlemen, appreciate you doing this. You see, I wore my all black. So we're going to go into some say the dark side or the light side before we jump into this. Anthony Orr, he's agreed later to come back on our show, Self Love, after you and I read his book, which is The Power of Your Mind Released, Loving Yourself. It's available at this time on Amazon, and we will drop the link into the chat. Also, the Brain Bully, EmerG McVay. You can find him on Facebook at EmerG McVay. That's McVay. And then the Brain Bully. So it's EmerG McVay, the Brain Bully. He's at IG. What's that, bro? Okay. He's at IG at the Brain Bully. And then also cop his NLP album. N is in nice, L is in Larry, P is in Paul. It's the New Reality Hypnosis. And also check in with his New Reality Hypnosis sessions, which we're going to have them at some point. He'll talk about his book, Anthony Orr will, and then we'll have this brother. We have questions related to the New Reality Hypnosis sessions and then also the NLP album. So big ups, you guys. We appreciate y'all doing this, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Glad to be here.
Man. So let me just jump into it. While I'm doing this, EmerG, can you kind of tell everybody what your New Reality Hypnosis is?
Well, New Reality Hypnosis, my slogan is a new reality for a new you. Basically, it's just a new approach to the game. Hypnosis it's been around for a while, and it's a lot of cats doing hypnosis, but I come to notice that everybody's hypnotherapist is nobody's hypnotherapist. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody's doing the same thing and approaching things the same way. And if everybody does that, then industries don't get pushed, you know what I mean? And new things don't come around. And, when the league first started, they ain't had 3-pointers. Now they got 3-pointers. Now they might discussing the 4-pointer now, because people are, they taking it and they pushing the boundaries and the threshold of it. So that's what my company is about. It's about an unconventional approach to hypnosis and taking hypnosis in places where people won't go. That's what it's about.
Appreciate that. And Brother Orr, if you could just give a synopsis of your work as well, and then I'm going to jump into it.
Okay, well, I've been actually studying hypnosis since my high school days. I actually wrote a term paper in high school about it, all the academic stuff and everything else. Then I eventually went and got a couple of certifications, but I wasn't able to do it yet. Then I went and got another one because I stayed on the path, kept doing it. Then I had this aha moment, and all that studying, all the academic stuff just came to life, in my practice. I've been actually probably practicing for about 7 years, but studying for a long time. So besides hypnosis, just like EmerG from my NLP, I know what NLP stands for, neuralistic programming. So that's a great title to what he's doing, because that's a part of what we do too, with the language patterns and everything else. And also studied Reiki healing and a lot of other different modalities that make the hypnosis practice more complete. Because as I talk about hypnosis, what I really tell people, I say, you know what this is about? Because a lot of us are afraid, oh, you're not getting in my head. You're not doing that to me and things like that. I'm like, it happens to you every day. I say, and it's really a practice to help you with the human experience. I say, how well do you know yourself? How well can you control yourself? How well can you improve yourself and manifest things and put your mind in the right place so that you can get some of the things that you want and everything else? I said, that's what it's really about. I say the hypnosis, I say at the end of the day, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. I have no special powers.
Well, save some of that. Don't do it. So leave some of those jewels.
Yeah, but let me tell you a little bit about the book too. So the book itself is going to be a series of a number of books, which I've already sort of laid out. I got probably 13 other titles. But I was bringing up the titles. I said, with every session, one of the things that I sort of focus on in order to get people to change is really loving themselves. Tell them the reason why they're doing this is because they love themselves. Not because I want it, not because their family want it, but because they love themselves. So the book goes through this journey of what people have told me. Before I even get to the chapter on how to love yourself better, I talk about, how to give love, because we sort of never taught that growing up. I grew up in Chicago in Stateway Gardens, Cabrini Greens, project areas, and so forth. And we sort of never taught these lessons. And then when we get out in real society, we're sort of lost. Because we're lost, we do the best job we can. The videos and stuff that you showed earlier, those are people just trying to do the best job they can. And they sort of don't know better. They need mentoring. They need somebody to actually give them love and say, there's a different way of doing things. But the book goes through that. And at the end, really talks about, okay, I talked about all this stuff, how to figure out what's your purpose and things like that. Now, this is how meditation can help. This is how hypnosis can help. And this is the power of your mind. That's the last 3 chapters, to focus on those things. Not to tell you how to do hypnosis, but to tell you there's hope and for change and everything else. And that was the number one thing through a lot of my sessions that I were giving. It says, hey, reason why you're doing this is because you love yourself. So I go from sort of a physical perspective to a mental perspective, then the spiritual perspective is really about loving yourself, spiritual and emotional. And EmerG probably can tell you probably the same thing. And EmerG, I've seen a lot of your videos. I like your techniques and everything. Good job, dude, you know. But one other thing. My hypnosis is like a side thing. My day job, I work in IT. I'm a process expert. I travel all over the world from those phases of projects. I've been to over 60 countries now, talking about IT and things like that and so forth. If you Google my name, Anthony Orr, you see different things. You see different books on IT. I say, but if you look at Hypnotist Anthony, my pen name for this stuff, you see that one book.
We're gonna get into all that. Hold some of that. Hold some of that. We're gonna unpack it all. I promise you.
I can talk forever.
We're gonna unpack it all. And I like when you said that. And that's something we're gonna get into too. And you said you threw a jewel out there when you said people are like, I don't want to be hypnotized, and you're like, man, you're hypnotized every day. Right. This brother EmerG came to LA, and I was like, man, I was sitting out there at Park Self. I was gonna call you, like, I think he's gonna hypnotize me, behind my back. hey, but before we jump into it, man, this is gonna be a great conversation. I've been looking forward to it for a long time. So I forgot Self Love. The riddle of the day. So if you gentlemen know it, blurt it out. Self, if you know it, don't say nothing to the end of the show. The riddle of the day is this: what does Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common? What does Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common? Self Love, if you know it, stick a thumbs up. If anybody knows it, they can say it.
Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. So marinate on it. We'll solve it by the end of the show.
Yeah, okay. Think about that.
Self, did you thumbs up or what'd you do?
I did not thumbs up on
Here we go. I'm glad because Self normally knows it, and I had forgot it, and I was like, oh, I hope Self knows the answer, but I know what it is, so we'll reveal it later. So here's the question: if you guys want to kind of just give a brief, and I'm gonna stress that because we don't want to do a whole history lesson, because we love our craft, but just kind of if y'all can give us a brief history on like hypnosis and then how y'all got started into it and who was your teacher. So I'll start with EmerG and then I'm gonna throw it to Anthony. So a brief history, like what you kind of know about it, how you got into it, and then who got you into it, and then I'm gonna throw that same question to Anthony.
Well, a brief history on hypnosis, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so many definitions of hypnosis, but me, I like to do things, from where I'm from. So I call hypnosis. A lot of people say it's like meditation on the go. So I just tell people it's like church on the move. That's all. Church is definitely on the move. It's on the move right there, and it's all about suggestion. How I got into it, I was actually on tour, and I was in Vegas, and I got a chance to go see a hypnotist by the name of Mark Savard. And I was already into the science of the mind, you know what I'm saying? If I was supposed to be the first Eric Michael Dyson, that was supposed to be me, the first hip-hop psychologist, you know what I'm saying? I was going to quote hip-hop lines and make it relate to life. That was going to be my thing. But I saw this hypnotist and it blew my mind. And I was like, oh my God, why don't everybody want to learn how to do this shit? So after music, I came home. I went to school to become a clinical hypnotherapist. After learning scriptnosis, because that's pretty much what it is. After learning scriptnosis, I was like, there has to be something deeper than this. So I reached out to some guys in Killeen, to a guy in Killeen, Mr. P, Carlos Pruitt. And he's a military guy. And I went over there to Fort Hood and I went to go study with him. And that's when I caught on to the game. And I've been doing it now for 10 years now. I've been hearing this, and I feel like this too. I feel like I'm an authority figure in the game now. You know, I've been doing it for a while, and I've stood next to the best of them and put a little fear in some people's hearts on the street. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats don't really have the balls I got to do this shit where I be at. You know what I'm saying? So, and now I'm teaching it. You know, I've taught 70 Black hypnotists during the pandemic. And I don't get into the history of this shit because they always trying to get credit to motherfuckers who don't create shit. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So I don't talk about the history of hypnosis.
Well, I know what you mean. They talk about Freud and the cat before them. It's another cat, but I know what you're saying. They were getting it from somewhere else. But
right. It's always some Christopher Columbus type shit going on. So, you know, I do know that this thing was originating in sleep temples, and none of those guys was around. So I'm not giving credit to none of that shit. I will say that those guys that they give credit to were accomplished men who knew the craft, and that I will not take that away from them. You know what I'm saying? Those guys, a lot of guys like Milton Erickson and James Braid and all of those dudes. Those dudes, you know, pioneered a lot of shit. So I'm not gonna say that they didn't, but I'm not gonna give them credit for creating it.
So
I will say that
Eminem was not the founder of hip hop.
Truthfully, you know, and neither was Elvis. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna go there, but you know what I'm saying? I would just say that we make shit look good, man. You know what I'm saying? And when your genetic makeup is part of the universe, it's a different thing when you can meet people where they are. You know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. You know, I've had a lot of Black people come to me and say, I went to go see a hypnotist to stop smoking and it didn't work. And it's not because that hypnotist wasn't good at what they do. It's just that I'm able to say things to you that resonate with you that he can't say to you. And he can't say them in the way that I can say them. So it can make you understand. And just to touch on what Anthony was talking about, one of the things I tell my clients all the time, man, you have to be exhausted loving yourself. At the end of the day, you got to leave it all on the table. You got to be exhausted loving yourself. So I think we're able to reach people differently. So that's why I do it. That's why I love it, man. And I don't plan on really doing nothing else but this. Now that I do this, I don't even really, I just battle rap now. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care about making albums no more. I made the NLP album.
I mean, but are you, when you're battling, are you like, woo? Well, we're going to get into it, but Anthony, I want to throw it to Anthony. I want to throw it to Anthony on that.
I'll tell you about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to get into it along those same lines, Anthony.
So
what would you say?
Yeah, so first of all, I agree with the history stuff. You know how history is sometimes. There's a lot of great people out there, and the hypnosis practice is continuing to evolve, just like EmerG says. He's thinking about how he's going to evolve his practice, and the key word there is practice. Just like a doctor has a practice, the hypnotist has a practice too. And as they do stuff, they get better and better and better. The more that they do it and figure out stuff, it gets even better. I started, like I said, back in high school, because back in high school, I used to do things like stage magic and stuff like that. I was really into that stuff. And it's sort of in the same area. So when you're practicing magic and throwing fire from your hands and all that type of stuff, some of the same type of people are into hypnosis and a lot of other stuff. So I started reading, and I tried for example, EmerG doing some suggestibility tests. I didn't know if I was even doing them right, but I was. When I look back, I said, man, I was pretty good at that, and I didn't even know it, but because I didn't have a good mentor there. But then when I finally took some classes, I said, oh man, I'm getting more academic. I bought lots of books and everything else, looked at videos, everybody, and so forth. But then afterwards, living in Houston, there wasn't many people to practice with. So my first few classes were sort of over the web and stuff like that, and talking with people and doing virtual stuff. And then like man, what am I missing? So finally, there was a class in Houston that I took. Before the afternoon was over, boom, everybody. I'm like, oh, I get it. I got it. I said, and I asked the instructor, I said, what's the top mistakes beginning hypnotists make? And he told me, I said, oh man, I did all those things. That was me.
Right.
You know, I did all those things. Now I understand, you know, just like you, Nerd, as you're mentoring those people and teaching them and stuff, and you're giving them feedback, and all of a sudden, poof, they get that aha moment and they can do stuff. The other thing, like I will probably talk about a little bit more, is that it's really a journey, and it really takes more than just understanding hypnosis in order to do it effectively. One of the things EmerG mentioned, you know, looking at scripts. Scripts are okay to get you sort of a perspective on therapy. But the key is really connecting with that person, you know, understanding their word choices, how they talk, what they really care about, and everything else. And then sometimes initially they not tell you everything. But once they go into trance, you can ask the same questions. And they can take completely different answers. They didn't even know that because it's in their subconscious, and the subconscious has those answers. And then the subconscious, that's where your belief system is at. That's where your expertise is at of language. And we have to understand that. If I tell you, you know, think about some word, apple, and really in your mind.
We're not, hold it. You guys.
No, I'm not doing that now.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
And you don't understand. You don't understand what that word means, but I do. It has no effect on you.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that person, you know.
We'll get there.
Well, okay. Well,
that's all I wanted to say about that, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And no, I appreciate it. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. All right. But I did want to ask y'all, because there's some stuff that I want to get out here for the nation, and you know, I hate to do this, but it has to be done. I wanted to talk about the culture, because you know, Anthony, you mentioned like you started dabbling in high school. You know, I remember having like a magic kit, and you know, going off into, like, they'll call it the occult, and then some of these things that we call occult, like for instance, you know, voodoo. I come to find out, you know, it's just stuff we were practicing in Africa, you know, before you know, we were quote unquote became prisoners of war. So I just wanted to ask y'all this, if y'all know anything about, you know, specifically Black masters in this culture, and then the influence in our culture, and where it's at now. Brain Bully, I know you said you're coming to find out, you know, you're wielding some influence here. So are there other Black people that I should know about? Is every musician and magician doing hypnosis? So I know y'all want to just start riding into it. So I hope I gave y'all enough meat from there. So just talk about the Black masters, the influence on our culture, and then and then so we'll just go from there.
Well, everything is hypnosis. It's all trance, you know. We just happen to know the science of trance. You know, that's all it is. Music is trance. Holding your arm in the air like this and just leaving it suspended like that is trance. It's all trance.
Prayer,
driving on the freeway and missing your exit is trance. Binge watching TV and
dude, I drove 2 hours, and not 2 hours. I drove a half hour out my way before I realized that. Yeah, go ahead though. So, yeah,
right, and so it's all trance. So the influence is constantly there. That's why advertisers have picked up on that and using that. I know personally, I know a lot of Black guys that are into different modalities of trance. Our modality of trance would be hypnosis, but then you have people who do polarity, you have people who do Reiki, you have different type of shamans and preachers even, you know, different type of people that have different foundations, just to take your subconscious mind and put it in a place where it's not normally, where it doesn't normally sit for you anyway. You know, your subconscious mind is 88% of your situation, but a lot of people don't give their brain that much credit. So they don't know, you know, that that's where the change is affected. That's where all the good juicy stuff is at. So the people who know that, they exploit that. And we just happen to know the science. So there's like the cat who taught me, for instance, if you look him up online, his name is Carlos Pruitt. The man has a belief system that I've never seen before. And I understand the one thing that hypnosis has taught me, and I'll be brief about it, is belief. Because I do hypnosis on the street, and I personally feel like, and this is just my opinion, that street hypnosis is the upper echelon of hypnosis because it's the only form of hypnosis where you cannot control the environment. Every other form of hypnosis, to me, you can control. On stage, you can control that. In the office, you can control that. You know what I'm saying? You can put sounds and smells and touches and tastes. You can put things around the person to get them comfortable and build rapport, because that's the number one rule, is to build rapport with somebody. But with street hypnosis, you got to take complete strangers that you ain't never seen before in your life, and in 90 seconds, they're laying weightless in your arms, and it's noise around, and it's all kind of shit going on and stuff like that. So I feel like what we do is the upper echelon. And I do know that on days when I'm not feeling it, I can say sleep and nobody will go. On days where I'm on some beast bully shit, I can blow at you from across the room and know that you're going to go to sleep and you're going to go, just because my belief is that, my intent is that I see you going before you go. So the one thing that hypnosis has taught me is, if the human being really knew what they were really capable of doing, society would be 150% different.
Oh, okay.
If you knew that everything in you was based on that right there. If you knew everything, I could teach you hypnosis right now with 8 words. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, sleep. If you really believe that it can go, you can go to the next person that comes and stand in front of you and say, hey, come here, stand right here. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, sleep.
But you see what
and if you believe it, they'll go.
But you see what he's saying, Tori? We've had Dr. Coney, world-renowned ophthalmologist, told us, I could teach you how to do what I do. And I've been studying, and everybody who does something be like, I can teach you. But Anthony, so I want to ask you, not to backtrack all the way, but I did want to throw that question at you. And then the Brain Bully brought up a concept, because when I played sports, I would get into a zone. So there were some days when I couldn't throw a layup in the rim, and there was other days when I can just throw it up backwards and everything was just going in. So so I want to hear your thoughts on that, and then also just reverting back to the original question about hypnosis and culture, our culture.
Yeah, that the answer to that question is the way the subconscious mind works. When you let go and let the subconscious mind do its thing, it reacts very fast, and it can do things that you practice so easily. Like if you practice falling in martial arts, or you practice a certain sports game. What a lot of athletes get in trouble is they start thinking, they start using their conscious mind when they get ready to react to something, even though they have practiced something 1,000 times. Because anytime you do something like that, you sort of become an expert in that. And it's just a part of who you are and everything else and so forth. So to improve performance, or like you just said, you on the court and you just in the zone. You just let go. You'll stop thinking. Stop having that analytical thoughts about how you're going to do stuff and everything else, and you just do it. It just happens. If you remember some things Bruce Lee used to say, which I bring up, he says, no, it just punches by itself, And when I first started to learn how to kick, a kick wasn't a kick, and a punch wasn't a punch. When I learned how to kick, a kick was no longer a kick, and a punch was no longer a kick. Now that I understand how to kick, a kick is just a kick, and a punch is just a punch. So that's what happens, that you sort of let go and let that expertise that takes over, which is a big part of how hypnosis works. Just like EmerG was saying, all that subconscious thinking and everything else, the power there. And the other thing to say about that, there's a positive side to that and a negative side to that. Just like you say, we could put you under in a minute. You know, you're walking in the park. I did it at loud baseball games, at loud parties, and people, they don't hear anything but what I say. The music at the party is gone. The shout at the baseball game is gone, and everything else. And the only thing that's their focus on and then intent on is me, because that's the way your mind is. You have that much power. On the same side, you have that much ability to be influenced that you have to watch out for. So earlier when I was talking about the human condition, the more you understand that, just like probably EmerG and myself, we're not easily influenced by things around us, like some other people, or put into trance, as we would say, but by things that goes on around us, because we know we have a choice and we listen effectively and everything else. And we know how things are going into our mind. There's some things that we can't, overcome. For example, EmerG probably said, if I tell you right now, think about a pink elephant with blue shoes on. Don't think about that. You're like, huh? How can I, your mind starts reacting to things, your environment and everything else immediately without your control. So,
why did I see that shit too? That's fucked up. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, you just start reacting to stuff. And the reason behind that, because your mind is always trying to protect you. So you can give it a negative thought and you can have pain. Like, oh, gee, it's because it's trying to protect you. You give it a positive thought and the pain goes away.
Yeah, you said something I wanted to comment on. You said that, and it's something that EmerG was saying as well, like the power, if we only had the power of, the faith of a mustard seed, or if we knew what's going on, what we're doing to ourselves, so to speak, through our routines and repetition. But EmerG was saying how we just don't know. And you were saying like how you could be at a baseball game and there's a crowd noise and you can focus, your subject in to where then this person is tuning out everything and they can hear you. And so I thought about how, when you hooping and it's this loud crowd and you can hear your coach and you can hear your players, but you can't hear nothing else. And how we all have the ability to do that, but we're not even conscious of that ability, which is, I guess, kind of like your, visualizer pink.
Yeah, but you know what? When you do that, you actually make a choice. But if you pay attention to the choice you make, you can enable that many times for other things. You just have to pay attention to your human experience and how that happens.
Well, that's where meditation helps. Go ahead, though.
Even in the Bible, one of the things that people should remember, what Jesus says, greater in you than is in him. He was trying to tell us, you have so much power, you have so much capabilities. Like even in my book, I talk about Buddhism, Christianity, Confucianism, all type of stuff. I relate all that to everything that I say, so people can sort of connect, on a spiritual way to the things I say in the book. So,
well, but that's usually when they whack them. What's that, bro? I was saying that's usually when they whack you, when you start waking people up to their own powers within. What was that, bro? Well, we don't.
Those shrooms, bro. You can get
that's my favorite pizza. I used to love that. And I just want to throw this out there. And, I know you're coming to Cali soon, so big ups.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, so look. Speaking of the book, so we're sitting here with Anthony Orr. He's an author, and also he's been practicing hypnosis for at least 7 years. He's the author of the book Power of Your Mind Release.
I gotta get that. Definitely.
Loving yourself.
And let me know what you think. I'm interested in your feedback. So
Self Love and I, we're going to read that, and then this brother's agreed to come back and we'll unpack that book in its entirety on a future show. And then we got EmerG McVay, the Brain Bully. I've never seen anyone beat him in a battle rap. Something I want to say out here on live TV. I kicked his ass back in 1993. Nobody was there but he and I. I was sleeping. I was dreaming. Okay. He was brain bullying in my
You
brain.
probably did whoop me a couple times though, because we did a lot of freestyle sessions back there in the back.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you used to be in the whip though. We used to be in the whip, but we never.
Going crazy.
No, I'm just talking nonsense, you guys. But Cop is his NLP album, and yes, sir, and then also New Reality Hypnosis Sessions, because I did want to talk about how far has it gone and how far can we take it, and it being hypnosis. So it's applications to you guys knowledge. So personal experience from what you guys have done and went through your therapy, and then great things that you've heard historically or even now, and then how far do you guys think this can go? Because I mean, all of this is kind of biblical to me. It's really biblical. But go ahead.
Well,
I want to hear from you.
I just wish. Okay, so I got to keep it a buck, man. Disrespecting nobody, man. But I just wish Black people wasn't so religified, man.
Ignorant.
You know what I'm saying?
Ignorant. The word is ignorant.
It's like
hold on, Self.
We were all, the way we were all are raised, and it's our parents' fault, Everything is voodoo or the goddamn devil if you don't understand it in our community. So this thing can actually
hypnosis.
Hypnosis can flip.
Hypnosis. Man, get out here talking about hypnosis.
No, they be like,
subconscious.
I'm not gonna be out. I'm not gonna be out on the street. Everybody laughing at me.
They be like, no, nigga told me I was covered in the blood of Jesus. You can't.
I've heard that so many times, EmerG. I've heard that so many times.
But Anthony just mentioned, we're talking about Yahshua. He wasn't preaching what these people were preaching. He was preaching what you guys are preaching.
Because he knows that everybody's comfort zone is that book. So if you need a reference, here you go, right here. So chill out.
Let me tell you about that too.
Right.
When I was in high school,
right,
growing up in the projects, like I said, I used to go to church all the time. So I had to go to church to use the typewriter to type my paper on hypnosis.
Wait a minute. Did you go to Dunbar?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
Oh, you remember me from Dunbar?
No, I didn't go to Dunbar, but you said Cabrini Green, so I was thinking, man,
I would be.
He's probably rolling with the Cobra Stones and went to Dunbar.
I'll be a Stateway during the school season.
Yeah,
and Cabrini Green in the summer. So I go between Stateway and Cabrini Green, and so forth.
But go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But when I was typing up that term paper in high school on hypnosis, and I was at church typing it up, Pastor Thumb, who was a mentor of mine, he says, I said, hey, check out my paper. He read it. He says, come here, let me show you what it says in the Bible about this. I'm reading the Bible scriptures. I'm like, that's not what I learned. I'm saying, I'm being confused now. I didn't question what he said. But then later on, I did my own little research. I'm like, that's completely misinterpreted. That's not what hypnosis is, And just like what you're saying, EmerG, they become real ignorant of the practice, so they'll shy away from it, or they think, oh, you're not making me, what's the other thing, cluck like a chicken, not making me look stupid.
Well, it's more than ignorance. We've been misinformed. See, so
yes. They've separated us from a lot of our ancient practices.
Ignorance. So we sit there and we watch TV and we'll watch ooga booga. Me, I'm pretty. I consider myself a well-read and a learned guy, right? But my thoughts, and I had some cats that tell me like, bro, you need to, look, I'm not preaching voodoo, you guys. I consider myself a quote unquote Christian, if that's what you want to do. But I'm saying, people were like, no, you need to check it out. You need to peel back beyond all that nonsense you've been told and really know what it's about. So it's like,
and understand that voodoo ain't even bad.
It's not. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It can be used for bad, like anything. But no, it's not bad, but it's like Christianity is not bad, but
in Christianity, the different sects, they're against each other. That's the main part of it,
Correct.
The Catholics against the Methodists against the Lutherans, and they fight, I'm like,
man,
what's
look,
the
I wore a shirt that put a hyphen in between the CAT and Catholic.
Yeah, Catholics.
That's what I am, for sure.
Addicted to the holy cat.
To the holy one.
Big ups to the holy cat. Well, hey, you guys, we digress a bit. I do. Let me.
Yeah, but
so we were talking about how far it can go, and
Yeah, one other thing relative is any message we get, we always need to research and do the work, and not just take things at face value and make them part of our belief system. You have to go out there, figure it out, especially if you're gonna make it a major thing within your belief system.
Think it through. Correct.
Right. So I'll start with how far it can go. To start that, one of the things that I'm very careful of, if I meet someone and as I'm talking with them, and I think they have some type of mental issue, they may be seeing a psychiatrist and stuff, I ask, because now I know I have a challenge talking with them. I have a challenge changing them. So I will ask them, make sure you get your doctor to sign off on the interactions with me. Okay. Otherwise, I don't want to approach that because I'm not a medical doctor. I don't understand all that stuff and everything else. But I think if medical science looked into it more, they can help more people. For example, the opioid crisis. Last Sunday, I met a guy. I was called and say, "Hey, can you come and do hypnosis for her? Because I know one of the things you can help with is pain." The guy got his back, soldered together, and his back was in pain. His leg was in pain. He couldn't walk. He get up on his walker, couldn't do anything, and he's just miserable. He really had multiple challenges besides the pain. One of the easiest things that EmerG can probably tell you is that you can turn off pain. You say, nope, you don't experience any more pain. So you don't need pain pills. You don't need opioids to solve that type of issue. You just can use your mind and everything else. So I did that for him. Now he's walking around without his walker and everything else. The family's happy and so forth. So the power of your mind, to me, is sort of unlimited. There's so many books that talk about it for medical reasons. You can actually put somebody in what we call a deep, zombie-like state trance so that you can do surgery on them. They don't feel the knife cutting them and anything like that. Then when they come out, they don't even feel any pain from the surgery. I help people with toothache pain. Oh my, pain gone, 5-10 minutes, I say, you still need to go to the doctor because there's still an issue. Pain is not this, so now the healing can begin to me, and so forth. So it has unlimited, potential because of what I think just relates to the power, again, in my book, the power of your mind. It's just unbelievable things we can do. And you see it in so many areas. You see martial artists, you say, man, how can that guy take a punch in his stomach and not be hurt if you don't really exercise? How can that person put his arm out and can't be moved? It's all mental stuff, when you really get there, and that's that coordination of understanding how your body works, the physical, the mental, and the spiritual all work together, plus the emotional. And you have to connect them all together, So that's how I'm talking. EmerG.
I was going to say that, you're absolutely right about that. You always hear the story about, the lady pulled, lifted the car off her daughter and, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that because, you don't have time to consult with your conscious mind and see if you have the ability to do this. You know what I'm saying? Once you, what we call bypassing the critical factor, once you bypass that person's conscious mind and you go to the subconscious, you can really turn a person into a superhero almost, is what I like to say. This thing can go far, man, if we can just get people to understand the surface level of what's happening.
And let me give you one more example, EmerG. Let me interrupt you. If you think about the medical condition, multiple personality disorder, and you say a person with a multiple personality disorder, they can be allergic to something under one personality, and they switch to the other personality, the allergy is gone. Or once they switch to the next personality, they're standing up straighter, they're stronger, and stuff like that. What is going on there? If you really think about that, that's their mind switches it. And when it switches, look how fast it changes the physical attributes.
Some say
of the body.
Some say it's a possession.
Yeah,
there was another example. I don't know if this is a true story, but I think I saw this on the internet. They said it was a man who, and I think it was true, bro. He worked at a restaurant. He worked at a restaurant, and rest in peace, Kanika Jenkins. And he pulled a Kanika Jenkins, whereas somehow he ended up locking himself into the freezer, and he got locked in overnight. And he was writing notes or something, writing himself notes, like a final will and testament every hour. So it was a true story. That's how they knew his, every hour he'd write something. So they knew what time he died, and he died from freezing to death. But when they checked, the damn freezer wasn't even on, man. He psyched his whole mind and his whole body into killing himself and to thinking he was freezing to death and died.
For
Yeah.
example, one of the things that we could do if we were on a stage show, and I told you, sit in that chair, you can't move, you can't get up, you're paralyzed. And you've probably seen EmerG do this too. He make people act like they statues and can't move, and he puts his hand in front of them and they don't blink or anything. And then I say, the chair you're sitting in is on fire, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It's burning you. So if that person gets out the chair, they may have blisters all over their butt,
Wow.
because of the power of their mind. Now, the opposite, I could tell females usually always getting cold. Oh, it's so chilly in here. I said, come here for a minute. I said, see you warm and comfortable now. They go, oh, yeah, but I'm not cold anymore.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, you just grab that Hennessy out the freezer.
Yeah, that's it.
Take you a couple shots of that.
Hey, there's
you know what I mean?
Movie.
So
go ahead,
There's
Merge.
a movie that Samuel Jackson played in called Formula 51. And on Formula 51, Sam Jackson was this big drug dealer who came out with this new drug that's supposed to be 100 times powerful than ecstasy, but was 100% natural. Nobody could OD on this drug. Nobody could die on this drug. And all he needed was one person to believe. That was it. And he started selling this drug like fucking crazy, and all the kids and all the raves were going crazy and really getting high off this. And at the end, the drug was just a placebo situation. It was more like a Skittle. It was a sugar pill. And the name of the drug was POS 51. And POS stood for power of suggestion. That was the name of the drug, power of suggestion 51. Because and you heard Anthony say this, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. We don't do nothing but provide suggestions. What we do is we take you, we help you bypass the 12% that you think is your whole being. But your conscious mind is only 12% of your brain's functionality. So
EmerG. I'm confident I could put on, hold that. I'm real quick. I'm confident I could put on a doctor's jacket and set up an office, right?
Yes.
And pass out sugar pills and then if it doesn't get better after 2 weeks, hey, I'm gonna send you over here to a real doctor. Get yourself checked out.
Yeah,
but and 67-70% of them. Go ahead, though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The white coat effect will kill him, and that's what it's about. Any man that pops from behind that door with a white coat on, you're going to assume that he's a doctor, and then whatever he tells you, you're going to believe it, and you're going to take it into your body. So with going back to the beginning of this whole thing, this can go far if we change our mindsets right now to understand that you are being programmed to not be a critical thinker, you are being programmed to be a consumer and a slave. You're not being programmed to be a critical thinker.
The educators have said this, the rappers, the hypnotists. Go ahead.
Everybody. Only the niggas who really out there spending money going crazy don't really understand that, man, if you took 5 minutes to really understand that feeling that you think you don't know why you're feeling this way. But you woke up with this energy. And the first thing a lot of people say is, man, it feels like I'm having an anxiety attack. And I tell people, one thing about NLP that we do is all about framing. How you frame something is what it will be. So if you process this as anxiety, well, guess what? It's going to be that. If you process that anxiety as what I like to tell my clients is that's just misplaced energy. You got a whole bunch of will and drive that's moving around in your body right now. And you're so used to being programmed in a certain way that you don't know where to put that energy.
I'm gonna get it to Anthony, and then we're gonna take a real brief break so everybody can stretch their legs out. But I love where this is going, bro, because this is powerful. I know you're absorbing all of this stuff.
Man.
And one thing that Anthony mentioned, you know, Jesus, as everybody calls him, and I'm not throwing this out there, but I keep saying the meditation. So, you know, I pledge to meditate X amount of time every day as part of the show process. This whole show is a thought experiment. And one thing, what I'm learning is that meditation, what it does is just through the process of, okay, I got to get my mind back on where I'm trying to get it back on. It's never going to, you know, the monkey mind is never going to but just by the whole process of, okay, I need to get back.
Yeah.
That's exercising your mind on how to focus, and little things that used to get me. You might start going up until you do it more and more, but you bring it back in quicker, and it's less.
Yes.
Pretty soon it's gone. You know, and that's all part of this. And I feel the need to throw that out there along with this, with the whole hypnosis thing, that there's things that we've got to be doing as a people to heal ourselves. And it's not going to come from a pill. You know, it's not.
They both said it. They both said it too. They both said it. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Self-hypnosis.
So
and when
all
you
of it
think about,
is. So
when you think about meditation,
think about that.
And you want to make it more powerful, because some of the meditation, I've been to lots of different types of meditation modalities and so forth. What I tell people, I say you start with an intent for your meditation. You give yourself, you know, a presupposition. Say, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. Make sure it's using positive language and everything. Then you start your meditation exercise. You become mindful. And the way you start being mindful is usually through breathing, understanding the power of your breath, which is not the first thing we come into the world with. That's the last thing we leave with. It's that last breath. So you understand that. And then after you do that, you say, okay, like he was saying, monkey brain. So you say, I got to get, no, my mind's all over the place. So you become mindful of something. The beginning meditation people, I say, well, start counting. As you breathe in, count up to 3. 1, 2, 3, hold it, count out.
You're breathing
down.
Real quick. My breathing technique is similar. It's the same time frame, but I just imagine, because I used to live on the lakefront, I just imagine the tide. So my breathing technique is the tide going in and the tide coming out. I feel like that's Mother Earth breathing, that tide rhythm, you know, and it is a hesitation, but go ahead.
Yeah, but let me tell you a little bit more about that. Now you just made your session more powerful, because anytime you use your imagination, you're going directly to your subconscious mind.
Wow.
And you're giving that suggestion right there.
Yeah, I told Tori I keep coming to a white door, bro, but I never, you know.
That's a different
I haven't gone in it yet.
Because EmerG was talking about reframing. Sometimes, you know, for example, if you're afraid of dogs, I may do an age regression back to that time when that dog gave you that fear and reframe the story. You say, that dog wasn't trying to bite you, it's trying to lick you. See it? Look at it from above, like you're watching a movie. Now look at it as self and so forth, and think about this and so forth. Sometimes I do what's called past life regression, you know, and people go back and visit the past lives, talk to their ancestors and stuff like that, or they want to know who this person in their current life is, you know, relative to the things that's going on. And they see all type of stuff. You know?
But Self, how could this have helped you before big ball games? You know what I mean? Like, man, like seriously, bro. Like, you imagine if a basketball coach had these techniques along with the
visualization. Visualization is always important.
Mike got hit.
They said Mike. That's what I said. Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson. I was just about to say.
That's why we'll go out there and really beat you up, bro. Because when you, just like you said, you know, we hooped a lot. So you know the power of hypnosis if you play basketball, period. I don't have to explain anything else to you. Because when you on,
trance.
When you are on,
Nobody can stop you.
I don't care who it is.
But yourself. But yourself. It's when you start thinking, it's like what Anthony said earlier. And when somebody brings it to your attention, man, you ain't missed all, when something brings you out of it. But normally the people around leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Let me give you an example. This is an example I use to get people to try to understand.
Leave them alone. Feed EmerG. Feed EmerG. Leave them alone.
Yeah, here's an example I use to try to get people to understand this and answer. When I ask the question, answer. What's 1 + 1?
2.
Oh man, you knew that right away. Now, if you were a 1-year-old, you couldn't answer that. You go, what's a 1? What's a plus? And so forth. Now, if I say, what's 10 times 4 of the square root of 36 minus 4? You're like, what the hell?
Right.
I need to analyze that. That's your conscious mind. The other one was your subconscious, learned behaviors and beliefs and everything else.
From the repetition.
You've been practicing that layup and everything else. All of a sudden your mind goes, yeah. So don't think about it. Just get in the zone and do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be guided.
And I'm gonna tell you something else about the zone. And this is not just sports, but y'all will know this. The zone, even in sports, y'all, it ain't just the shots going in either. So your handle,
everything.
Right? Your defense, your hand. It is. It's
the entire game before everybody else. I mean, at least when I was in the
every
zone,
move you make,
I was like, okay, if I do this, he's gonna go that way. I'm gonna step right over here.
But you're used to killing people. Yeah. For me, when I'm in the zone, I'm like, these moves have never worked.
Right.
but look what you're talking about, though. Look what you're talking about. You're talking about you as a human, the human experience, and you're going into that.
Right.
Delving into how do I do what I do? How does success work? How does failure work? Which one are you gonna choose? The red pill or the blue pill?
Right.
Make your choice. Don't be in the middle and try to just whatever. Be conscious, do your research and everything else, and choose the right way. You can choose to be happy, or you choose to be sad. A lot of people always choose to be sad because they think that's what they should do, and they stress themselves out. They worry about stuff that ain't gonna happen and everything else. And like you're saying, you have to break the habit. Like with meditation, you start breaking the habit because you know what you're supposed to do. You say, I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to think about something that makes me happy. Sometimes when I'm doing hypnosis, EmerG and you all, I ask people, I say, find something that makes you happy. Go ahead and put it in your mind. People say, I can't find anything. I can't think of nothing that makes me happy, which gives me a signal that how deep they are into their sadness and their woes and depression and things like that. And I got to bring them out of that, at the end of the day.
Facts. Yo, we appreciate that. And we're going to get more into it. We're going to take a little break. So, you can do what you need to do. And then we're going to get the people we got.
Hey, it's halftime too. My fault, Self. This EmerG McVay, the Brain Bully, Fair Use, Crackerjack Toy. Go ahead, Self. Go ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. We halftime. The Self Luv Show, Blacks in Hypnosis with Chicago-bred experts, EmerG McVay and Anthony Orr, and we're exploring it for y'all. We are into it. My man EmerG, you already know. Killer with that flow, for real. But check these videos out, and we'll be right back at you.
Yes, sir.
They said that you might die and you went and bought some tissue.
I'm good, man. Expansion is our main goal, and
Right.
that's where we at. Actually, I could talk about like the concept of our expansion of self. The concept of self is that we're all part of each other. What I mean, and we're all cells of the great Creator.
Mm-hmm.
As we are made up of all the cells that we are, all of us are cells of that, and we are here to expand. We fake separateness to gain a greater scope of knowledge and be able to expand and grow. And
Right.
you've been a great help with this conversation.
And that's why the main premises of doing things like this is to add on to the foundation that y'all already got going. We just adding on right now. We building and adding on, you know what I'm saying? And all we doing is advancing intelligence right now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's all. Each one teach one. What I'm saying probably never been heard. What you saying probably never been heard. And whoever never heard it and listening right now, they getting gems right now.
And if they not from Shy and they,
you know what I'm saying? And so all we doing is expanding intelligence.
Facts. You getting some gems, man. If you ain't from
the
from the Mecca, we from the Mecca, man. And we're not saying we're better or worse than anybody, but everybody's processing information, and these are gems. These are gems, and some folks won't even come to the Shy out of fear. You're able to just sit on the internet and hear what a silverback has to say. So let me.
Yes, sir. Yo, welcome back to the Self Love Show.
Anywhere.
Black and Hypnosis with Chicago bred expert EmerG McVay,
life ain't meant for us to be
Brother Anthony
Orr. Worst way to use with your best out and step out like you got no care in the world. Don't leave that shit bottled in, share with your girl or your man. Together y'all should plot and you plan by any means necessary. Walk in your hand is what you need.
Thank you, production.
You gotta sell weed or on the block selling.
Welcome back. We need y'all to like, share, subscribe.
In this hustle that's in me, I'ma take it everywhere I go.
My man Trife. It's real loud. You distorted now, so yes. Welcome back, man. It's been very expansive, and I've been very much enjoying this conversation. You said something I would like y'all to speak on a little bit. You said something about bypassing the critical factor.
Yeah. Bypassing the critical factor. It's the conscious mind, and it's your perceived decision maker. The part of your brain that you think does the most for you, and you see me stress, you think does the most for you.
Right.
But it's the subconscious mind that does the most for you. It's just your critical mind that you to always tell people you may know more Jeopardy questions than me. You might be better at math, and you probably know more useless facts than I do, and you probably be better at pop culture trivia and all that type of stuff. But the way our brains operate is the same. All of our brains operate the same. And as long as we know how it operates, then we're able to help you, because you'll be able to take something like hooping, for instance.
Pardon me. When you say brain, do you mean mind? But go ahead, complete your thought, and then we need to distinguish that. But you talking about?
Well, I mean, your brain, the human brain. Black, white, Chinese, Irish, Italian, blue, green, purple, don't fucking matter. The way the brain is set up is the same. Now, the knowledge that you acquire over the years
hey, you may know more than the average person. That's fine. You probably read more books and everything like that. But as far from a hypnotherapy standpoint, when you come to sit on my couch, how much you know means absolutely nothing. You know,
you mean the logic, the linear mind.
Right. Your conscious mind, the critical factor, right?
Yeah.
Your conscious mind, now it helps for you to understand some stuff. So I don't have to, give you 2 red pills. You know what I'm saying? But if I can just give you one and let you slide down this slide and we get you right, that's cool. But for the most part, you take a person and you take the piece of their mind that they used to using on a regular basis, what they can feel, and you bypass that. Because the reason why you bypass that, because you have to get them to believe that change can actually happen. For you, it's easy for me to relate that to you because you do know what being in the zone is. So I'm able to point that out to you right away, and you have a reference to understand what I'm saying. The average bear, most women that come sit on my couch don't even never put themselves in a position to even know what being in the zone is about, or you know what I mean? Most people don't even get a chance to understand that. So
wow, that's a shame, man. That's the sweetness of life. But go ahead,
right? Bro. I mean, you have to break that down, and you could find an instinct for a person to relate to, but what I like to do is I just tell the people, what I've been into lately is called Affirmation Therapy, and I just tell people, when they want to come to me for something, I tell them to write down the top 10 things that they want to change about themselves in relation to what we're going to be working on. And I have them write that down, and I have them say that over, at least 10 times over in their head, and then bring me that list. And then when I say that to you back when you're in trance, it sounds like you are saying it to yourself. And because the one thing that I do know is the person that you trust the most in this world is you. So that's one of the foundations of it. And then I also give people homework. And this homework that I've been giving people, it's been working, man. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I've been coming to know as a hypnotherapist is most of the session is done before trance even takes place. Most of the session is done through the consultation, using your NLP technique to get down into a person's subconscious with covert hypnosis. We call it NLP, but it's really covert hypnosis. And that's where the change is affected, right there. So when I put you in a trance, now you just believe everything that I just told you right now, because I got a way of putting it to you for you to understand it. So this thing that we got here, man, is a beautiful thing. And I really feel like, I think they're trying to I know they're trying to keep us away from it, because, bro, if Black people really got a hold of this shit for real, you see what happens when we get a hold of something. When we get a hold of something, it changes the landscape of the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if we were to actually get a hold of this thing and understand that therapy actually helps, because we don't believe in therapy. We believe
right. We don't believe it.
Especially men.
Especially men, bro.
Hey, are you covering up your mic? Is this volume low? Or is it?
It might be me, especially when like I'm doing the shit on the line. When I'm doing sessions online, a lot of people be like, "Well, why don't you do a lot of men online?" Because I don't feel like I feel like being in a pissing contest with another guy right now, trying to prove something. I tell people all the time, even though I'm lying, but I don't be feeling like fighting with people. So I tell people all the time, man, if you're looking to prove that I can't hypnotize you, you win, I lose. Because I don't want to be in that fight. Even though I still can hypnotize you any damn way. Because I know I've been doing it for so long that I know how. But at that particular point, it's like raping somebody almost,
sexually assault. We can't really say the R word here on YouTube.
Well, they call it mind rape, I guess. So
mind sexual assault. The algorithm doesn't like that R word. So
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all
Well,
good.
you actually have hypnotists that are in prison right now because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah,
man.
you leave
know
somebody all discombobulated. See, and that's what people will trust that white man to go up in their brain, you know, but they won't trust Pookie on the street.
And then when they go see the white man, they got to come see me and Anthony any damn way because he didn't relate to him at all. And they just spent $400-500 a session with him, and he don't even know nothing about you or who you what you come from, or you know, if somebody from 63rd Street came to you and said they wanted to stop smoking, this man used to live in Stateway Gardens. He know exactly how to talk.
He
to
know
you.
why he's smoking. Right.
Yeah, he know why he's smoking.
Hey, let me ask y'all though, conflict resolution, because that seems to be an issue in our communities, you know, in the world, period. But, you know, we're all about Black first. So how can this be used as a tool? I mean, you know, in conflict resolution, I'll throw it to Anthony to comment on that, and then EmerG, you can jump on.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject. I've actually used hypnosis technique to help with marriage counseling, which is sort of like conflict resolution. But my approach to that is that usually when people are trying to solve a conflict, they start with the negative stuff. He ain't did this, she ain't did that, this is this, and they ain't did, you know, everything that they haven't done. I let them get it all out because you have to let people express themselves. And I say, okay, what's good? Then they may start back again with all the negative stuff again. You know, I said, okay, wait a minute. I asked what's good. Let's just think for a minute. What's good? Then they start thinking about what's good. I said, okay.
Good technique.
I say now, other person with this conflict, what's good about your relationship? What's good about what's going on, and so forth. And once they get there, now the breakthrough starts, because now they're not focused on the bad stuff. They're focused on how can we harmonize? How can we help each other? How can we really listen to each other and the needs of the other person? And just like, go back to my book, how can we give love to this person? We really want to, you know, have a resolution. So when I talk about when giving love, it's sort of related to conflict resolution. Somebody call you, your spouse, your friend, and say, "Knock you out." Instead of you fighting back with fire, you know, which is going to make the fire get bigger, you know, and everything else, you say, "Oh, wait a minute. Let's slow down. What do you really need?" Let them tell you what they need and what's missing, and maybe something what they misinterpret that you did. Because you may not even have that intention to do something like that, but they misinterpreted and everything else. So then you start communicating with compassion, not compliant, not just compliant. Okay, let me hear what you have to say. Oh man, I'm just like you're just talking about me understanding somebody on 63rd. I said, yeah, man, I understand that. I understand that situation. But let me tell you something else, you know. Let me how we can improve your joy. Let me tell you how we together can improve your happiness and so forth. And this is not just about you, but it's about both of us at the end of the day. So you make it more inclusive, you know, the thing that you're trying to solve. So and that's how you get to sort of win-win type situations and things like that. Then you start defining, okay, what's success? How do we make this better? How do we make this successful? One step at a time. And then, you know, continuous improvement. No, you may not do everything related to that conflict at that time, but you started a step, and that step is a positive step. Anytime you make a positive step in any direction, it's a positive step in a positive direction. But if you don't get a chance to do that, like I tell people sometimes, I say, you know, when I think about people and stuff like that, you know, if you use a number line, like I start with a -10, I went to a +10. I said the negative side don't exist. Where are we at on the positive side? Are we a 1? Are we a 2? Do we want to get to 8 or do a 7 and so forth? Where's the direction we're going in? But if we stay on that negative side, we're just going to have conflict and just keep fighting and everything else, and may even get worse. But if we listen to each other and give love to each other, really understand what that means at the end of the day, we can help with conflict resolution. Just like earlier in your show, you was talking about the violence in Chicago and everything else, and the guy shooting and so forth. Every time I see that, I'm like, you know, where are the Black mentors? Where's the real leadership that goes out there in the field and talk to these people Really, just like during the hypnosis process, one of the things to start any hypnosis process is being there present, whether it's virtual or anything. And you start rapport. You start this conversation so people trust you, so people can see that you're like them and maybe similarly situated. Even if you're a millionaire and they're the poorest person on earth, you sit there, start looking at you as a person versus those statuses and everything else. But when you do that, that person with that machine gun, that guy with that gun, and you say, hey, that's an alternate. Now, let me tell you how to get there. Let me give you love. Let me do this for you. Because another thing that I understand, and I tell people all the time, and this goes back to a conversation I had probably over 20 years ago with a friend of mine who's a minister. We were talking, and he says, Anthony, why you don't go to church? I said, man, go to church. I say, a lot of those ministers, every time they see me, they want to shake my hand because they think the offering's going to get bigger or their message. I say, I listen to the messages. I say, and the hooping and hollering, that's not a message to me. That's not, so something that I can take.
You mean the gospel music, get you in a trance and then get your wallet out? Go ahead. Dude.
Yeah, but even the message from the minister, and then they say, yeah, that minister really preached. I'm like, what? What was the message? I said, so I don't go because a lot of it's crap. I say, I found God more inside of me in the things that I do, and I believe it's sort of universal spirituality. Well, there's really no wrong religion, just like we was talking about Buddha and stuff.
Well, here's the thing: what church was Jesus in? Church is outside and inside. It's not inside a temple. But go ahead.
Exactly. Right. So after I told him that, he said, "No, Anthony, not about what you can get, but what you can give."
Facts.
About the stories about you growing up in Stateway, bringing green and the challenges you had and everything else and so forth. You can give that to a younger person that may be struggling through the system of the church, through the system of community.
That's what life, that's what you're talking about is the point of life. Hold on, I don't want to go too far past that because I want to throw it to the Brain Bully on that because he's I don't want to throw, he's been out there, he came up, on the South Side and in the 70s. So I want to talk to you, bro, about conflict resolution and also Anthony when he's done, because I'm thinking more like bang bang conflict resolution. So what do you mean by that? I'm talking about some Jedi mind trick type of stuff. Will we be able to teach our youth? I know Christ was talking about like turn the other cheek, throw water on it. Like,
no, and that's not what I'm saying.
Is there people who, how somebody can walk up to you? Me and Tori have done it. Somebody can walk up to you. I want to kill you. No, you don't. And they got a gun on you and you tell them, man, you can't kill me. You can't squeeze that trigger. You can't squeeze that trigger because you didn't give me life. You didn't give me life, so you can't take my life. And then it's going against the grain of it's. I think when we do stuff like that, going against the grain, I think it kind of jumps into somebody's subconscious. It takes them out of that pattern they were in. That lion chases prey, and sometimes when the prey turns around and growls back at the lion is like, out of the hypnosis. But so EmerG, back to the street. Is there any way this can be
add one more thing first?
Go ahead.
One more thing to clarify. What I'm saying is that when that person comes to you that way, you don't prepare to fight, you prepare to love.
Correct.
That's what you were doing.
Correct.
Which changes the dynamics. You prepare to give and not take.
Even if it's a robbery. Correct. Exactly. Go ahead, EmerG. Yep, correct. Yep.
Yo, that's crazy.
But it's true.
Yeah, no, it's real. My mother always tell me keep $15 in your pocket so if a nigga rob you, he won't kill you.
He can get something and won't think you're trying to play him. He won't have to strip you naked. Yep.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I've been working on this, man, because my affiliations, from the city, carried over everywhere I went because I've preached my affiliations in music. And once people know what you are, it don't matter if you're not active no more. You are what you are.
Right.
So the way conflict resolution has worked for me, being who I am, a lot of the guys, they see me as being this intelligent guy that can do things like, I don't want to say do things they can't, but just do things that they're not.
Move in certain circles.
Right. So it helps when they hit me up and say, EmerG, man, you know, these two guys are, you know, going at it, man, we need you to step in and blah, 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 blah. You know, I really feel like this thing can really help if we were able to find a way to get people, you know, especially our young brothers, man, you know what I'm saying, especially in Chicago, you know, if we can get these guys to understand that you can step into your greatness. One thing that I always tell people, I say 7 billion people in this world, approaching 8, if I'm not mistaken. And if every person in this world only had $1, that means there's still $7 billion out there. You mean to tell me, mathematically speaking, some of that don't belong to you? It has to. So there's a path where that money is at. It's somewhere. It's there. You have to travel different paths in your life in order to find where that is at. And you're not going to find it by doing the same shit that you've been doing over and over and over and over, and seeing your Uncle Pookie do before you, and his brother before that, and his daddy before that. You know, that don't work. So I don't know if I have
people stop shutting everything down and calling stuff stupid just because you never heard of it and you don't know nothing about it. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that.
Yeah. We come from a society where if you were smart, you was an outcast. The dumbest shit in the world. If you was a nerd, you got bullied. You know, if you was a nerd, if you was somebody who actually cared about where your life was going when you were in high school, you was a goofy.
Well, at least they thought I was, boy. They
thought.
They labeled a lot of us like that, and some of us was just handy in all facets. We're gonna get on the court. We're gonna throw these paws, whatever it is. Oh, sticks. We getting sticks, but I hear you, bro. I know where you're going. I hear you.
Oh man, used to tell me all the time though, why y'all laughing at that nigga? Y'all gonna be working for him. Yeah. And that's the truth. Mm-hmm. That's the truth. That is the truth. So I know that
start learning as you get older. It takes a man to walk off a lot of stuff. Go ahead, EmerG. Go ahead, bro. I want you to talk though.
I know this thing can help, but how, man?
Let me interrupt you right there, EmerG, for a second.
Go ahead.
When we think about the way the hypnotic process works, what do we start with? Rapport. That's what I mean by the leaders and the neighborhoods and stuff like that. If they understood the rest of the process and how we get to change from the rapport and the trust and everything else, and not, fighting, but actually listening, being empathetic, to the challenges that people have, really understanding them and so forth, they're starting to change, or what we call reframe that situation. A lot of things can happen. So the hypnotic process it's about the human condition,
But how do you stop?
And it can work.
But how do you stop? Like, okay, we're all have stuff to live for, but how do you stop though when you're coming up and you got your testosterone and you got your crew or your brother or your cousins, and these are the guys you grew up with, this is your family, and then somebody just as far as heinously shot them over with it. How do you stop? Because somebody recently asked King Von before he got murdered, rest his soul, and he said, man, he just don't see it stopping until all the players are gone. I mean, it's kind of what you just said, EmerG, like you in it and people don't stop. So in other words, how do you stop that pendulum of, okay, because I know if it was times when, man, if somebody would have did this and this to such and such, if I know who it is, It is what it is. And how do you stop that? You know, it's so much pain. Somebody, shot your brother or your cousin right in front of your grandmother at your grandmother's house.
Again, like back and forth, over and over again. Right.
Correct. And Vaughn said it. He said, and if I can't get Tory, then I'm gonna get the person close to Tory. And then that person by 6 degrees of separation who's close to that dude who I got. Wait a minute. Mills killed the person close to Tory just because he couldn't get the Tory with that guy. And then they get me and that's our issue. That's been our issue in Chicago. Somebody tell me, I'm just asking a question.
Well,
and on top of that, they roll the leadership out. They take the leadership out. As soon as there is a leader that can command some control of something, they are gone, either killed,
discredited, or thrown in jail,
and
or murdered.
Then it's free for all from people that are don't have the direction.
So if we know that, then there's got to be the next man up. Next man up.
If you know guys that get clipped, they all get clipped right after they come to that awareness that this shit is okay.
Yes. Yes.
So as soon as they start talking about changing and doing things
right,
community,
right,
yes,
that's when you are ironically somebody runs into your Airbnb and kill you and they don't know, or ironically, you get shot on a busy street like Flamingo Drive and nobody ever can find the killer.
Or ironically, you get shot right in front of your store, Marathon, where you always got security by somebody who was allegedly a snitch. Right. As soon as you start not passing out money, but rebuilding, when you start community building. Vaughn was like, man, we starting laundromats, we're doing this and that. FBG Duck, rest his soul, was doing the same thing. It's me and Tori been talking about this for years, bro. Because we used to talk to the guys. Y'all know how we was. And as soon as the guys started moving a different way, they was gone, bro. They went to jail.
Yep. When you start moving a different way, one thing I learned doing this shit, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I hang around with 9 Mills in Self Love. So 90% of my day is going to be positive. 90% of my day is going to be building. Probably 10% going to be some rapping bullshit, because we still who we are. But for the most part, we're going to be building all day.
Yeah, we wasn't talking about coming up on licks. And we wasn't talking about, we wasn't planning licks and schemes to sexually assault the community.
Out of that.
Right.
And anybody that we come in contact to, if we were to get in the car, we'll go pick up Jasper, and here's another positive person. And then we'll go around the corner and I might pick up Trife, and there's another positive guy. So show me your friends, I'll show you your future. A lot of these guys,
well, that's a good point.
A lot of us have been victim of a circumstance because as positive.
You're saying if Tory was out there doing dirt, we would have been all in it.
Listen, as positive as you are, I done seen you running home.
Man.
For no goddamn reason.
Jumping out of cars, bro.
Jumping out of cars and shit. And I mean, you not no punk or nothing like that. But when it comes to the human condition, you about life, not death. So you ain't out to harm nobody.
Correct.
You out to kick positivity out, but yet a nigga still had you sitting in the car getting ready to murder you over some shit that you didn't have a clue as to what about to happen.
Man, it's about to take me over to the town and leave me over there in one of those abandoned buildings.
Right. So, I say this.
That's what he thought.
Campaign number 1.
Ancestors.
Man.
Campaign number 1. These niggas got to stop telling these rappers to live their lyrics, man. I am anti-live your lyrics. Do not live that shit. Stop telling these kids to do that. Stop preaching what's real and what's not. What's real is living this life and dying in your sleep. That's real.
Well, we know the power of suggestion and imagination. And that's suggestion and imagination.
These guys, man, they end up just a victim of circumstance. So everybody to be successful, they come to that point of awareness. They come to that spot where you understand that you got to do what you do. Look at me. I left Chicago in 1991. Soon as I was able to legally tell my mother, no, I'm not staying here anymore, and I'm away from this violence. I'm out of here. That's what I did. And I immediately chased a dream that I had. With me, there were no plan Bs. Plan A was the only plan. I was going to be a rap star, and that was it.
Because otherwise, Chicago is kill until you get killed or until you locked up. That's the game. If you in that game, is what I'm saying. That's what it ends up being.
And the day that I left, I got shot at 2 days in a row, right when I graduated. We got shot at right down the corner, but the nigga tried to slick us with the dice. We beat him up. He came back and shot at us. And the next day, we graduated high school. The next day, I was just walking home and got to the block and got shot at. Didn't even know what these niggas was getting shot at for until after I ducked the bullets. And then the day after that.
Well, we're going to have Anthony regress you. And that's the whole situation. They're going to come over. They're going to come over and give you some roses, you know what I mean? And kiss you on your cheek. You know, thank you. Hello.
But you know, hypnotists like being hypnotized.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We know the bag. We know the experience, you know.
Well, let me ask y'all.
Weight loss. I haven't had a cigarette in 8 years.
That is fantastic, bro.
I used to eat squares, boy. I smoked so much, my niggas used to ask me, God damn, do you chew them? You know what I mean?
Facts.
For real. Because, you know, I'm an artist, so when you sitting there writing.
Oh, yeah, Tori ain't never like no cigarette, boy.
You know, but, and now
Never
I've used
appreciated
hypnosis for weight loss. I've used hypnosis for weight loss. Now, I've lost 50 pounds in the last 4 months.
Big ups.
Yeah. And that's why I'm eating cherries now. Excuse me, I hate to do it, but I'm hungry as hell. So,
well, that's where you win at the store, man.
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all though, man, before we get too sidetracked, because I want to get these in, and then we can open discussion. And I only got like a few more. Here's an easy one for you guys. We'll start with Anthony. What's the point of life? What's the point of life?
What's the point of life? To be happy and get through it. To be content, to find what I would call emotional contentment, which is success in everything that you do. Every day you should be thankful and find success in things that you do. That's the point of it. And while you're doing that, those people around you, you should give them love, care for them, and everything else. Because I think one of the greatest gifts God gave to us is to help other people, you know? Besides just thinking about what I can get. The more I give, the more I get, really, at the end of the day. So it's to be that type of person.
Give love and share information.
Yep. The more I give, you know, for example, when I'm doing the hypnosis session, a lot of times I don't even charge people because of their financial situation. Just like, you know, a lot of us has challenges. So when I hear a single mother of 2 kids and she needs a session because she's depressed or stressed or whatever, and then she asks me how much I'm gonna charge. I say nothing. I say, give the money to your kids, you know. I thought I can't do that. But when I see the smile and that energy come from her, there's nothing like that, you know, in my life.
Hey, if he was still over there in Cabrini Green, she would have paid him one way or another. If he was still over there with the Cobra Stones over there in Dunbar, she'd have paid him one way or another. You know how that goes. Boy, he'd have been standing over there, boy, talking about brain bully. Girl, we'll figure it out.
Some of the stuff the brain bully does, people don't realize that's a great form of therapy. When he's giving women orgasms and stuff like that, that's a release that they need. And maybe they're having challenges, and then he's not having sex with them. But look what he's giving them.
Right.
Facts.
You know?
Facts. EmerG, I want to throw that at you, bro. What's the point of life?
Living, man. Being happy to be here. because you couldn't be here, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just, I don't know. I just say living life and just understanding that on the most primitive level, happiness is truly a choice, man. It's a choice. You can choose that.
It is a choice, man.
It's a choice, man. You know, there's so many different houses in your mind. And I always tell my people, man, you know, you cannot have light without dark. You can't have good without bad. So there are going to be some mad days. There are going to be some sad days. There are going to be some bad days. They are going to exist. But you don't have to commit to that house of thought.
House of thought, bro. You know, 70% of the stuff since I've been meditating, and please, I'm gonna throw it right back at you, and I'm sorry. 70% of the stuff that I would be running around the house, you know, thinking my wife did it, you know, simple stuff, you know, leaving the coffee in the coffee thing. You do your meditations and you start paying attention and focusing. I realized that 70% of the stuff that I was bitching in my mind and spirit about her I was doing it.
Yeah. Oh,
it was literally me. So I was just saying that to your point about so much stuff in your mind. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
As a hypnotherapist, the things that you preach the most are usually the things that you really need to adhere to. You know, and happiness is truly a choice, bro. You do not have to commit to any other house of thought for that without, for, you know, in any way. Quick story, and I'll tell it lightning fast. And it's just about framing, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have told you this before. I don't know. 2 farmers, one black, one white. They live next door to each other every morning. They talk shit, drink coffee, and smoke cigarettes. And kick you, right? Every morning they get out there, they talk their shit, they drink and smoke cigarettes. One morning they were out there kicking it, you know what I'm saying? The black dude, his horse ran away. Boom. The white guy say, man, damn, that's fucked up. Your horse gone. Who gonna help you plow the land? The black dude say, hey, man, who knows what's good or what's bad? Just leave it there. White dude confused. He don't understand that theory. Day over with. Next day, they back out in the morning doing what they do, talking shit, smoking. The black dude, white dude having a good conversation. Here comes the horse running back into the black dude's yard, but not only is he back, but he got 12 other horses with him. So now, everybody's excited. He like, see, I told you, there's a pretty black horse. And with these horses, the black dude's son come out, he sees the pretty black horse, he get on the pretty black horse, ride around, fall off, and break his arm. So here go the white guy again. Hey, damn, you got the horses help you plow the land, but now your son broke his arm. Who's gonna help you get the crops up? Black dude say again, hey, who knows what's good or what's bad? Leave it like that. The white dude still confused. Day over with. Next day, they back out, talking shit, smoking, drinking, whatever. Here comes the general of the army. He's coming around and he's coming to take all sons to war. But guess what? Can't take this man's son because he got a broken arm. So it's all how you frame shit. Life is based upon perception and perspective, and it's all consent based. Nothing, nowhere, from nobody at no time can make you feel any kind of way without you granting the consent.
Facts.
You have to allow
Facts.
Facts. I don't care what it is. It may be sad, but if you don't look at it that way, it will not be that way. I'm not saying that it doesn't have to be, because sad emotion wouldn't exist if things couldn't be that way. But that is just a tiny house of thought. And you can walk in that house of thought, you can experience that thought, and you can walk right back out of that house and close that door and go back into your house of positivity. Because if there are a million reasons why something won't work and only one reason why it will, the one reason why it will is the only thing that you need to pay attention to. And the key to life is understanding that experiences are such. They are experiences. But if it's negative and it comes knocking and you already knew about it and it's the past, you don't have to answer it because it doesn't have shit else new to say to you. You know what it's going to.
Well, they said that would be like if self-love hit you with a stick and dropped the stick and left. You just complaining about him hitting you with the stick for the rest of the day and then picking the stick up and smacking yourself with it,
Right.
you know, every so often.
Or he comes back and I smack him with the stick and he like, what the fuck you do that for? Because you hit me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
but my thing is this. I've been coming, and this is one of the hard things to do, but it's a cheesy statement, but it is the truth. Where there are no expectations, there can be no disappointments, man. You know what I'm saying? If you just let down your proclivities, man, and just understand, let individuals be who they are. That's why the word individuals exists. Don't have that expectation of them, because what's high on your temperature gauge may be low on mine. What's a deal breaker for you may be a fucking joke to me.
And
you
then
know
then you lose your composure and blow everything. Hey, bro.
Right.
I want go ahead. No, go ahead.
No,
go ahead, please.
No,
please,
that
please.
was just it. That was just it. So I'm just saying, happiness is a choice and life is consent-based. And as long as you know that much, you can at least stay in your solid frame of mind. You know what I'm saying? At least that.
When we started marketing the Self Love Show and also another business I'm going to embark on within the next year or two, I'm reading this book, rereading it. It's called Guerrilla PR. I recommend y'all read that. The author is Levine. You cats would make fantastic, because a lot of these techniques that you guys are saying is all through and through in this book. And this guy knew nothing about hypnosis. He doesn't mention anything, but just listening to y'all talk, man, you guys have to be marketing wizards. There is a question in the chat. I'm going to throw it at Anthony. And then, Anthony, if there's anything else you wanted to add to, please throw it in before we move forward. But this is from the chat from Charles Newman. He said, is there one induction technique that you guys prefer or one that is your go-to induction?
I'll let Anthony answer that because I'm all over the place with that one.
Yeah, I am too. That it depends. And one of the things that EmerG even said, he says he may have get up a day and he says, I can't hypnotize anybody. Then the next day he get up, he's fully confident. So there's multiple techniques, and I think it's the favorite one of the day is the one that you're feeling, the one that you're called or driven to do. Say, I'm going to do this because you may feel it relative to as you start creating rapport with that person and so forth. He said, this is what I should do with them. This is how I should approach them. So there are things that hypnotists do, that they get into a routine to do, which makes them more expert in doing those things. But I would tell any hypnotist, practice multiple things, practice multiple inductions, but there's multiple induction types. For example, online, it's always a progressive induction. Unless you hypnotize somebody before, then you can do quick and rapid inductions and stuff like that. And there's different techniques for that. To give you a little bit more into that too, one of the things that all hypnotists understand, which I think they understand, I'll make this assumption, that we're all born with two fears. You all know what those two fears are? The two fears that we're born with? Yes.
Let me take a guess. Two fears that we're born with.
Yeah.
Fear of falling. I would say fear of falling, like falling downstairs, or so I guess maybe and then also born with. If I had to I'm just guessing. And then I'd say the second fear. So fear of height or falling, and then the second one would be fire.
Yeah, close. The fear of falling is one, and the fear of loud noises. So you see hypnotists use that fear, because as soon as that fear is activated, your body wants to respond very quickly. And your body responds through subconscious behavior. So now we've created a tunnel to your subconscious mind. So when Charles was asking a question about inductions, sometimes some of the hardest ones that hypnotists have trouble with, because I talk to hypnotists from other countries and stuff, and I ask them, what's your approach? And like Charles said, to inductions. A lot of them say progressive, which is almost like meditation, progressive relaxation. Then you get into trance with the things that you say. But then some say quick and rapid inductions by eliciting the fear of falling or loud noises and so forth. And then it's another way, like EmerG said, to epilepsy. So if you stare at your hand becomes stiff and stuff, or you do something that's unexpected that you've been doing for a long time. Like one that I like, EmerG probably likes to do is the handshake. So you act like you're ready to shake somebody's hand and you switch it up on them, and so that you do that, the brain gets confused and go, huh? What's going on? So the subconscious mind tries to take over and say, I need to react real quick and do something. And then you say, sleep. It says, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're in that gap between when you're in that gap between when the wave is going in and the wave is coming back.
You slip right in that portal.
Yeah.
So that induction
in mathematics, that's it's an issue and it's an unsolvable. It's kind of like pi. Computers have that issue, that noise, and then that silence. But go ahead, brother Orr. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So inductions sometimes become personal. For example, another thing that EmerG said, he says, sometimes people say, oh, you can't hypnotize me. I challenge you. Even though everybody can be hypnotized. And I've had people do that to me. I say, okay. So I'm not going to hypnotize them right now because of the expectation. As soon as I finish the expectation, I'm going to put them under. I'm going to use an induction. They poof. I said, oh, I thought you couldn't be hypnotized. Huh? Now, gone. So inductions are sort of like that. There's different types and so forth, and different approaches, but it always usually depends on that personality, that energy you're coming to play with. Even online, if I'm online and I'm doing an induction, I'm through the rapport session, the beginning of the session, I'm understanding, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to take them. This is, and everything else based on experiences and just this feeling that we get, and maybe I'll let EmerG talk to related to that question. So.
For me, it's just for my bad, that was my phone ringing. I got in 7 minutes. For me, it really just, like you said, it really just depends on what I'm feeling that day, or how I process how this person is going to take to what I'm doing. I know that some people are what we call somnambulists, and somnambulist is a person that goes into trance really easy. So if I suspect that in a person, then I'll pull out any one of the many inductions. I'm more of a rapid instant guy than anything.
Me too.
Yeah, progressive is something that I use either
online,
on stage or in the office. But other than that, I'm more of a rapid instant type of guy. And my go-to for most men is an induction that I guess it's called the arm pull, but I guess in hypnosis they call zap. It's called zap. And
I need to hear the term arm pull, but
arm pull, yeah. So I use that for most men because you could be a little bit more rough.
I used to use the finger pull. Tell you to pull my finger.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
But let me interrupt you one. Earlier I said what the arm pull does, it elicits one of those fears we just talked about. Which is the fear of falling.
Yeah.
And once that happens, boom.
Oh, I've seen. Okay, I got.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the arm pull. So
I'm
when
gonna be
the
so
brain
prepared for my
elicits that fight or flight response.
Wait, if you got 7 minutes, if you got 7 minutes, you're gonna wrap up this response here, and we're gonna shoot you through some more questions.
All right, cool.
If the brain, the last 7 minutes.
Basically, the brain elicits that fight or flight response, and when the brain gets ready to make that decision, we make the decision for it, but just by saying sleep, and that's pretty much it. Wow. With the females, I do more maybe some light heavy, or I hypnotize a lot of females straight out of catalepsy. So like if I get your eyes to close and you can't open them, I'll immediately hypnotize you right there and just drop you. So that's pretty much just it. As of lately, I've been on fire lately, bro.
Is it easier to hypnotize? Is it easier for a man to hypnotize a woman and vice versa? Would y'all say?
I just believe it just depends on who the person is. I do have my
so some women may be more
easier.
Comfortable with women, and some men may. Is that?
Yeah, trust is a big factor.
Trust is a big factor, but I also believe that it just depends on the people. Most white people will go.
You're not walking up to me in a Klan sheet talking about sleep.
No, you're definitely not doing that. You know, but comfortability means a lot. Most white people will go. White people with glasses are really high ratio. White people
I can see that.
People with colorful hair. Doesn't matter who you are. Colorful hair.
Mushrooms or acid in them or something.
All of that.
Hold on. All right.
Creative space, creative people. So yeah, that's all good.
So y'all answered my thing. Anyone can be hypnotized. I appreciate that. True or false? Anybody can be a hypnotist. That's true or false?
Anybody can.
Yeah, it's true.
You agree?
But one of the things that you find out is very true, but you have to believe in yourself, know you can do it, have
Brain
the
Bully's
intent
been
to
saying
do
that.
it.
You got to be confident in yourself. Yeah, that's what Brain Bully's been preaching. Yes. It's a certain swag you got to have. All right, and humility. These are the quick hits, man. And then and because he's leaving doesn't mean we got to wrap up, but I do want to get y'all through the quick hits. Quick hits, you guys. So these are yes or no questions. Have you ever seen a UFO?
Nope.
I have.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Phoenix? I was here for that. I just got here, so I saw that.
You ever seen an alien?
Shit. I look in the mirror every day, so yes.
Not from another planet, from this planet.
You know what I'm
saying? No telling. Okay. Anything supernatural, angelic, demons, shadows?
Man,
yeah,
you know the brain is a tricky place, man. So ain't no telling what the fuck you thought you saw and what you really saw, and you know, because here's a quick example. You've been looking for something all over the motherfucking house, and you've looked in this one spot 19 times, and all of a sudden it's right there.
Man,
and you know you looked at it.
Man, it'll literally be the place where you keep your keys at. The first place you looked, and you're like, no, that wasn't there.
Yeah, and you think somebody playing with you, but nobody's been in the house. And it's been there the whole time.
But relative to supernatural, yes, because I think a lot of decisions, you know, me leaving Stateway and all that other stuff, I didn't have enough sense to do that. I think I was guided, you know, spiritually, you know, by trying to be the right type of person I was. There's let me tell you this one incident. Maybe this helps you understand it a little bit more. One day I'm walking through Stateway, what's called a fire lane, if you've ever been there. And it's sort of in between the buildings. Something said, don't go down the fire lane this time. Go over to State Street. I was like, nah, if I go over to State Street, see all those people over there? I'm arguing with this voice. See all those people over there?
Hold it. Now, the voice, was it a male? Hold it, please, hold it. Was it a male voice? Was it a female voice? Was it shouting? Was it calm? Tell me about the voice. Did you hear it in your brain? Did you hear it in your mind? Was it, come on.
In my mind, it wasn't male or female. So I never distinguished that, you know. It was just a voice, you know what I'm saying?
Did it sound familiar? Did it
who was the voice?
To me, it was a spiritual voice. You know?
Yeah, he doesn't know who it was.
Right. It was a spiritual voice saying, don't go that way. Question. And sometimes, this is why I tell people, sometimes we get messages like this and we don't know how to pay attention to them.
I hear it all the time. Tori always tells me to pay attention. Go ahead. Yeah, I've heard the voice. Don't get me wrong.
Pay attention. So now
I heard it when I was in that car. I felt it.
I'm almost like arguing with this voice. No, I'm going this way because there's people over there. So you know how my neighborhood is. If I go over there, somebody may try to do whatever. You know.
I didn't listen to the voice. I got put in a car. But go ahead.
And it says, no, go that way. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go that way. I decided in front of me, like 5-10 feet in front of me, here comes this guy with 357 Magnum shooting in the direction.
This is crazy.
Right.
I went the opposite of my voice and ended up getting abducted. But go ahead, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah, but the guy looks at me while he's shooting the gun. I'm like, oh no, it's over. You know, this is what I'm saying. But I was calm.
Low motion, eye contact.
I was calm at the same time, and he just went right past me. And I went on over to State Street and walked down to the school, and I said, I can't believe that. I said that voice was very loud this time. You know.
So what did it say after that? We've got to move. Did it say
something? No. What happens is you get a moment of reflection. It don't say anything. You know, there's nothing there. So you reflect. So I'm reflecting while I'm taking the rest of my journey. Like, what the hell just happened? What did
Tori
that come
told me that
from?
when we were 17, he said, never ignore that voice.
Yes.
Yeah. It's never panned out for me when I have. It's never panned out for me.
That voice, man, you got more than one brain in these vehicles that we travel in. And
Harris want to talk about the fifth dimension all the time.
And if you talk about ancestries, ancestors helping you and
Correct.
spiritual guidance,
all of that.
And
all
I
this
think
stuff.
that's where Self was going when he said, whose voice was it? And, you know,
Yes.
that's
I don't know, but it wasn't male or female, but I had other instances like that.
Hey, think about that though, because
I
you
pay
have the
attention
ability
to. I really pay attention to that today, So
you have the ability to figure out who's the voice though, because all of these things
that is correct. It'll come to you.
About,
it will come to
man,
you.
So if you want to know who the voice is, you can find out.
I never questioned that, really, Tori. I never questioned that voice. I just say it's the voice.
It's the question, but nobody questions. Let me ask you all this though: did human walk on the moon?
No.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Why not?
We got to know. Now, these are the quick hits because this guy's got to go. If you guys want to come back on another show, we can do a whole show on the man on the moon debate.
Yeah.
All right. Recommend a book to the Self Love Nation.
Anthony's book.
My book.
So there it is. So that's going to be the power of your mind released. What's that?
I got you.
A lot of good reviews, 5-star reviews on my book on Amazon.
Say the name of it again.
It's called The Power of Your Mind Release, Loving Yourself. That's the first volume. And then the name is not Anthony Orr, it's Hypnotist Anthony. So if you look it up by the author name, Hypnotist Anthony, you'll find it, or you have to put in that whole title, then you'll find it. And then
you got a copy on you now where you can flash it in the screen?
Yeah, I do. Right here. Let's see. Can you see it?
Yeah. Well, hold on. We'll cut off some cameras. Hold on a second here.
No. Hold on. He's got your filter in the background is blur everything.
Oh, okay.
So
well, that's all right.
It's blurring.
I changed the filter.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah, and we got.
There you go.
There it is. Okay, then we can see it.
And see what I mean? That's the subtitle. So you will see other books with this major title with different subtitles, And then, like I said, Hypnotist Anthony.
All right, you guys, y'all see that? And I'm going to drop it in the comments after this video is posted. There'll be a link to where you can just click on it and go right to Amazon and check it out. I haven't read it yet, full disclosure, but listening to this brother, it sounds like it's going to be a complete gem factory.
Yes,
Sierra Leone type.
Yes, it does.
And the other part, if you want to contact me, my email address is easy, hypnotist.anthony@gmail.com. I love getting emails from people wanting virtual sessions and things like that. So, or just want to talk and let me know what they're thinking. Because I practice other things besides just hypnosis. Like we talk about
Can you
Reiki.
repeat that email one more time?
Hypnotist.anthony@gmail.com.
Y'all got that? So now, so can you guys recommend a Black-owned restaurant?
Yeah, the one in New York, that soul food restaurant. I can't even think of the name of it, but their food is unbelievable. Some of the best soul food there is in Harlem, whatever. You all know what I'm talking about? Al Sharpton's been there, Barack Obama. They sometimes film stuff there. Unbelievable food.
Sylvia's.
Sylvia's.
Aunt Sylvia's or something?
Yeah, I think it's Sylvia's.
Amazing. All right.
My man opening up one down there in Chicago right now, man, called Taste the Caribbean, man. It's about to open up. It's gonna be on stage. So it's coming up soon. So you know what I'm saying? You'll see me showing love to that. So
Wait a minute here. Cats like you say it's gonna be on State Street. We all know that could be a Honey and Lempton State. We all know that can be over there off Stateway Gardens. Wait a minute. Stuff I be inside, they'd be like, it's right on State Street. Wait, just what are we talking about here?
State is a long street.
I know.
Very, very
right
long.
On state.
Right on state.
You all, before I forget, I want to say one more comment too about the projects and stuff. This is what I tell people all the time. I say, projects is not a place. It's a state of mind. You see what they did in Chicago to Cabrini Green and Stateway Garden, Robert Taylor, and so forth. But you still have all that violence and stuff.
Man,
it was never a place. It was a state of mind, and the state of mind they never addressed. You know,
facts.
So.
Well said. Well said. So the last one, you guys, any family scripture or colloquialisms, and then Mr. Growth and Development, you might have some, some street, scripture, anything like that y'all want to drop on the Self Love Nation? Something that can,
I just got two models that I've been living by right now, man. I've lived by so many, but as of now, the two models that I live by right now is one: if you ain't in it, you in the way. Really though, you know what I'm saying? You got to really be about it, man. You know what I'm saying? Or be without it for real, because it's people out here really trying to get to it, and you in the way.
So you saying if you ain't in it, get out the way.
If you ain't in it, you in the way. So get out the way. If you can't be about it, be without it. And right now, the way my mentality is boss up or get bossed around, man.
Facts.
Straight up.
And I got in my book lots of scriptures, things from Confucius, Buddhist, Hinduism, from Quran, and stuff like that to back up the things I'm saying. So I'm looking for one that may stand out real quick. The only one I can
might
think
have been
of
something an ancestor said. You know what I mean. You if you go out there and you take wood nickels, and you
listen,
put them inside the peanut butter and jelly.
Before he says that, I really got to go right now. I got a client on the other line right now. I appreciate this platform and I love this shit to death, man. And you guys are my bros, man. But what you're doing, is definitely gonna pop. So, and I want to come back, and Anthony has inspired me to write my own book. So next time you talk to me, my book will be done. Cause like I said,
hey, bro, we got an appointment and we got to get online. We have to get locked in.
The whole Self Love Nation is sending me emails and comments, and you guys are supposed to be. He's supposed to be digressing him, brother.
Regressing me, but he's all over the place.
Mentally digressed, but self-scared.
Regress.
He's afraid.
Regress. I got it.
EmerG don't feel like he can do him.
I hope I get a chance to meet you all in person.
That's
spend some time with you.
Yeah.
Hey man, one love to y'all brothers, man. Let me get to this bread though and get to my people. But I got you.
Yeah, handle your business, bro. We appreciate you doing this. Man.
Hopefully, I get to meet you in person, EmerG.
All right, for sure, Anthony. Man, have a good day, man. Y'all be smooth. I'll hit y'all in a minute.
One love, brother.
No,
we're not done with you. Help him off production, and we're not done with you, brother Orr. Is there anything about this whole topic though that we haven't covered that that you want to chime in on, or even off topic?
Yeah, I think you really covered a lot. One of the things, like McVay was saying, I really like about your show is really the overall theme. When I saw the theme about love and giving love to each other, I think we just need to understand how to do that. That's why I even wrote it in my book, at the end of the day, because I think we never even talked about that. You talk about the challenges in Chicago and the challenges among our people and stuff like that. We don't stick together, as we know. We don't know how to give love. We don't know how sometimes to, work a family unit and everything else. We have these perspectives that are not real. They're illusions and things like that that really don't help us with our life's journey. And we need to understand that a little bit more. The practice of hypnosis and other things, like I tell people all the time, hypnosis, Reiki, NLP, meditation, and tapping and scripting and lots of other stuff that I study is really about understanding who we are. And we need to research more who we are, why we act the way we act, and how do we improve ourselves. Instead of just going through life with blinders on and just, at the end of the day saying whatever happens, happens, or not having, the thought about that life should be long, it should be, enjoyed, it should be, full with love instead of conflict and stress and depression and anxiety and all these other things that we're challenged with in our communities and so forth, So that probably would be the last thing I say in the closing. But next time we talk, I'll say a lot more. But at the end of the day, we just have to understand it's all about not what we can get, but what we can give. And when you give, I think that's one of the greatest gifts God gave you, the ability to give. And as you give, every word, for example, that a hypnotist says affects not only the person that he's hypnotizing, but himself too. So that message has to be positive and strong and everything else. So every time we talk, just like on the show, you're affecting so many people with your words that you have to be careful of the language and the perspective and your intent always. So that's sort of a few more things that we didn't talk about completely. So.
No, and bro, I receive all of that, and I appreciate that totally, and we really appreciate you doing this. We just need you for 5 minutes. We got the name game. This guy ran off. So it's a game. It's a fun game. It's all we're looking for you to do is drop a name. Are you familiar with a rapper by the name of the game?
Nope.
Oh, that's okay. But he drops a lot of names in his songs, and so that's where we got the name of this. It's called the game name game. So here we go, Self Love. We're gonna start the game. These first 3 points, these first 3 questions are worth how much, Self? Yeah, he's on mute. Let me get him off mute. What's it worth?
Am I competing with Tori? Or
no, you're competing against the group, and I don't know why he's on mute talking. But yeah, you're competing against the group.
Hey,
so.
because I was turning it off, and I guess you turned it off. When I turned it on, you turned it off. Because I was saying I hit it and said it's 6 points. The first 3 are worth 6, and then it's a progression from there, from 9, 12, 18, and
All right.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Yeah, no, I was just hitting the ask to unmute button. So I wasn't muting you.
Okay.
Yeah, it was saying ask to unmute, but here we go. All right. First clue. When they go low, we go high.
Oh, Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. Ding, ding, ding. Now, these individuals will be from the city of Chicago. If they're not, we'll give you a free clue. All right, here we go. This individual is from Chicago. All right. This individual wrote and performed the NLP rap album. That's your first clue.
Yeah, I guess that was just here. Exactly.
That's right. Ding, 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 ding. We're gonna go with EmerG McVay.
Brain Bully.
And the Brain Bully. That's right. All right, here we go. This is the last one in the easy segment. All righty. This black man who is not from Chicago scored 100 points in an NBA game.
Michael Jordan.
Next clue. This individual claimed to have slept with over 35,000.
Dr. J.
Next clue. His nickname is the Stilt.
Wilt Chamberlain.
There it is. Ding, 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 ding. Wilt,
that's right.
So. All right, we're going into the next series here. All right, here we go. You're doing fine. Here we go. This individual is not from Chicago, but this, rest his soul, is a Chicago legend. That's your clue. The greatest football player in the history of the NFL. He wore number 34.
Walter Payton.
There it is. We're talking about the greatest football player. We don't care any position.
Yeah, I used to love watching them play when I was in Chicago.
Man, just
even the training camps and everything.
Yes, how he carried himself, bro. I mean, just all the way around, man. The humanitarian award you talk about giving is named after him. He was so good, the Lord took him early. All right, here we go. All righty. This individual, I don't believe is from Chicago, but is a Chicago legend. Rest his soul. There's a major downtown city library named after this African American.
Washington.
The late, great Harold Washington. I haven't found anyone of color to say anything bad about him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can find them to say bad things about anyone of color, but everyone from Chi loved that man, and he knew how to run that machine. All right, here we go. All right. This individual is from Chicago. This athlete is from Chicago. Rest his soul. Many said that this high school player was headed to the NBA straight out of high school, but he was tragically murdered a day before his senior basketball season.
Oh, can't remember his name.
Their next clue. His first name, there was a TV show, okay, I think in the 60s. It was about a dog. It was a famous Hollywood dog that had it. Well, think of another one if you can. Everybody forgets about this one, Self. I mean, they do. Everybody forget about this one. He played for Chicago Simeon.
I don't know.
His last name matches a famous sports apparel company, and they make balls like basketballs, baseball. I don't know if they make baseballs. They make soccer balls. That's his last name. It's a brand of
Rawlings. I don't know.
And so we got Lassie Rawlings. We're not looking for Rawlings. We're not looking for Lassie Rawlings. All right,
Nike.
So, well, he can ask the chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the chat out there, and but there's one more clue for the chat. The one more clue is he played in number 25. So for the chat, there was a famous TV show before our time. There's a Hollywood dog named after him. That's the first name. Well, he shared the name. He was murdered tragically before his senior season. His mom was an educator. He's a champion. Wore number 25. Rest in peace. Played at Chicago Simeon. Won the state championship as a junior. So that's what we're asking in the chat. We'll move to the next one. This rapper, who is not from Chicago, is a notorious name dropper. He's a notorious name dropper. To rapper.
Notorious B.I.G. The way you said that, what comes to mind.
He's a notorious name dropper. That's the first clue. Second clue. We named the game that we're playing after the notorious name dropper. We name the game after this rapper. The game is named after this rapper.
That's the name of the game.
Ding, 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 ding. That's right. We were looking for the game. We were looking for the game. That's it. We only got a few more. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here's one. He's not from Chicago. I believe he's from Louisville. First one. He was a draft dodger. He said he was a conscientious objector. He refused to fight in Vietnam. Ding, 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 ding. And he's got Chicago ties. We would have taken Cassius Clay, even though he wouldn't.
And a great museum. If you haven't been there, unbelievable.
Where is it? Where is it?
It's in Louisville, I believe.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
I have not been there.
Nice building, everything. They really did it nice. You know, I had to stop there when I was there.
That is great. That is really great. He was just a great man. So, all right, here we go. He's one of the ancestors. All right. This guy was not from Chicago. Okay. notorious gangster from New York. Famous for bootlegging liquor on the south side of Chicago.
Oh, gee. Name's right on the tip of my tongue. And then you probably gonna say Denzel Washington played him in the movie.
There's a movie named after his nickname with Al Capone. So Al Capone played in a movie, very famous movie about a gangster.
Bugsy.
What did you just say?
Not Al Capone. Al Pacino played in the movie. Al
Pacino.
Yes. Played in the movie about this man's life who died from syphilis. And I just said his name. I just slipped up and said his name. He bootlegged liquor on the south side. He's also known as Scarface. I said his name. The most notorious Italian gangster in Chicago history.
Al Capone.
Yes. We got Al Capone. Yeah, I threw you off because I slipped up and said the name.
That's what really happened.
All right, here we go.
So what's the points on that? I don't know.
We'll go back and review it. Okay. All right, you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 more. The last one's worth 34 points. All right, so
4
you got
more.
2. Well, no, it's 3 more. And the last one is worth 34 points. So it's a total of 3. And the last question is worth 34 points. Here we go. All right. All right, here we go. He is from Chicago. Okay. Now, this former mayor's son is a former mayor of Chicago.
Daily.
We will take Ricky Daley. Ding, ding, ding. The boss. He was the boss. All right, here we go.
I had a chance to meet him one time at Dunbar, as a matter of fact.
Really? You met the father?
Yep, the father at Dunbar. He came up there the one time. I was standing right next to him when he was talking.
Did he look you in the eyes and give you a firm handshake?
Nope, none of that. He just looked right past me.
Yeah. Wow. Was his neck red?
I'm sure. Like, I can't wait to get out of here. That's his look.
I know his blood pressure seemed like it was always running high. You know those brats and stuff. Yes. All right, here we go. Big ups. That's good history. You met Tricky Ricky Daley. All right, here we go. I met Rom. Yeah. Shook my hand and hit that little half finger, and he made sure I felt that half finger. I swear he hypnotized me, but he wouldn't look me in the eyes. So small ups. But here we go. I don't want to go political right now. It's a different show, and you got to go. So here we go. This individual is not from Chicago. Many will say that he's the founder of the city of Chicago. He discovered, even though there were people already there, he came up and discovered it. Black man. Next clue. First permanent non-indigenous settler of what would later become Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, I can't think of that guy's name.
Next clue. They just recently changed LSD, and we're not talking about the hallucinogenic drug, Lakeshore Drive. They just renamed Lakeshore Drive after this giant of African American history.
And I really don't know that. I'm careful with that at all, but I know the story, but I can't remember.
Let me give you this. Last clue. You literally attended a high school named after this giant.
Paul Lawrence Dunbar?
No, sorry.
No, couldn't be.
Wrong clue. Sorry, sent you off. No, you didn't. You literally, there's a museum on 47th and Cottage Grove. Is it 47th? No, 50. Where is it at, Sal?
57, 56. Yep, 56 and 57.
Yeah, like 56 and Cottage, named after this brother. African American Museum, right over there in Washington Park.
Oh, Du Bois. No, not Du Bois.
There's the high school is
yes,
on
there's a high school
State
named,
Street.
you didn't go to it. Yes, there's a high school. Yep, that was close to your high school. Yeah, Self, that's what kind of threw me off. There is a high school. Where is that high school at, Self?
It's on
39th.
It's on State Street.
What?
Yeah.
On State Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The closest high school to me was Wendell Phillips.
Yeah,
Think of some more.
Phillips.
Think of some more. Think of some more. Come on. Think of some more.
Street. That is the closest.
Yeah, that is the closest.
What else? Inwood.
He discovered Chicago. There's a museum on 57th Street named after him.
57th Street.
Got it.
Let's see here. Let's see what the chat's doing. They're gonna bail you out.
DuSable, that's what.
Ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding. Gene, that's it. Ding, ding. Gene Baptiste Point.
35th Street. Not the high school was on 50. Oh yeah, the high school was close to Dunbar. Yep.
And it's on State Street.
Yes.
It was on 35th, not State, but on 35th.
Yeah, but I don't know if you ever been to the museum.
Oh, Phillips.
I never been to the museum. But the high school
Phillips is on
39.
39.
No, Phillips on 39.
Phillips on 39. Neither one of them's on State Street, but it's like one street over whatever that street is, Wabash or something like that.
Yeah, it ain't on State.
Wabash and State, it's either side. But you're right. It probably was labeled on as
well.
Wabash.
Listen, he's our guest, and this is the community where he grew up at. So we're going to accept his
Yeah, but
answer.
State Street is mainly IIT and the train.
Yeah, we're not going to debate. We don't debate here. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's not a debate show. This is the last This is the last question here. All right, here we go. Last one. This one, we may not. Yeah, I don't know if you know this. I was hoping both of you guys would have been here on these questions. So, you know what I mean? So you guys would have figured them out together. But we'll see. He's not from Chicago. And many would think of this person, he's white, as the quote unquote father of hypnosis. So he would be the
Milton Erickson.
He would be the Eminem. We're not looking for Erickson. Popular.
I know you're talking about. You mentioned him earlier. I can't even think of his name now.
They said he popularized the term hypnotist and hypnosis.
Oh, gee. Yeah, this book is right behind me too. Somewhere.
And his last name matches, and this one's worth 30. This is worth double. His last name matches the urban hairstyle, but people of every race use this hairstyle. But father of hypnosis to many. He's white.
Sigmund Freud.
Last name matches an urban familiar hairstyle.
And pink.
Yeah, that one. See, I wish both of you. I don't even know if he would have known that one. We're gonna give you this one, but hold on. Let me check the chat right quick, because sometimes they be knowing some of this, and sometimes they tap out. So I'm gonna give you this one. But hold on here. Let's see here. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. All right, I'm gonna give you this one. So yes, I'm the overseer. He did say DuSable. And then he did. Somebody did give. They bailed you out on the one, Benji Wilson.
Oh, okay.
You remember Benji Wilson? He was the guy that was tragically murdered the year before his senior season. Ben Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you had got DuSable. And then the answer to this final question is, so think of some hairstyles. Can't think of any hairstyles. There's afro. There's braids. So we were looking for, I don't even know if you heard of this guy, but James Braids. You ever heard of James Braids? Yeah.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
all right.
I haven't heard of him.
Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? It wasn't an extensive research we did on him, but that was what came up as when you guys said at the top of the show, you know, they give all these different people credit who, right. So, yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's some popular people that probably we both follow, you know, and because they got materials and stuff like that, and it's sort of talked about in the hypnosis community, like even at the HMI, Hypnosis Motivation Institute. There's actually a school dedicated to hypnosis in California, you know, only one in the country, besides the other little places you can go to that teach hypnosis, you know, so.
Yeah, I know the CIA, and they've done a lot of studies with it too.
Oh, they did. You go out and look at those scholarly journals on Google, because you could Google those type of journals, you know.
Yeah.
They've done stuff on so many things related to the mind. It's one thing that I was reading about, I think last year, that they had one person like in Europe looking at an image, somebody else in the United States, and they trying to connect their thoughts. Another person, I forgot what they call it. I can't even think of the name of it, but they were able to do it, you know. So
I know what remote viewing.
Yeah, remote viewing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of work in remote viewing.
And they said that,
and brainwashing too, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, they said when they tested remote viewers initially, they thought, you know, it was certain people who were, but they said it's more like suggestion. They said it's like what you guys are talking about. Anybody can do it. So what they're saying is we're all one mind. That's why I wanted to ask you guys earlier, you know, the brain, what is the concept of brain versus a mind? And I think that those are two separate entities. There's a brain, which is a utility, and then there's a mind. And I think that voice you heard and we hear, I think that's the mind's voice.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say mind, I say spirit. So it's the energy that we're all born with that's connected as one. And we call that the universal energy that we all share. So that when you go into things like you said, okay, I want to understand how to manifest things in my life. Well, when you put it out there, you put out that message, the universe listens. So that's everybody listening. And then you attract those things that you talk about, those things that you manifest, and everything else with your words and so forth that way. So if you look at things like that, then you go, okay, remote viewing. That could be the same. Or wait, some people may call psychic abilities that somebody can tune into and find out, you know, where they buried the body at, you know, or what happened to this person, you know, because you asked that question and you went out there and you're able to search that energy field where we all exist at, you know. So, you know.
And you can't plant apple seeds and expect peaches to grow.
Exactly.
The universe is like your subconscious, they say, is like a soil or a garden, you know, whatever you plant. And if you don't do anything to it, it's just going to be full of weeds. And that's why they say the idle mind is the devil's workshop. You know, if you're not focused on something, then there's that monkey mind. Yeah.
That limbic system, that fight or flight, you know, will take over and have you doing all kinds of. Okay, I hope this doesn't happen. And what's going on over here? And
let me go get those chicken. And let me go get a candy bar. And let me stop at McDonald's. All that monkey mind.
And if you start to sort of think about knowledge like that, because you know knowledge is infinite, we don't know everything. And then if you start getting to studies like past life regression, and you say, I've been here before. And then when I come to the new life, I bring some things back. Can't tap into it all the way. So to me, it sort of comes into the primal brain. That, you know, like just I was talking about, there's two things you're born with, fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. That information comes in. And in order to tap into it, you got to go through the conscious mind, the critical facility or factor that people talk about. And I talk about that a little bit different than the Brain Bully talks about it. Then the subconscious, then you get to the primal brain, you know, and they're sort of all connected and they have different purposes in that primal brain. It's almost to me like that memory unit of who you are. You ever heard of what is it called? Static records. I think I maybe
Akashic records.
Yeah, Akashic records.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Those Akashic records to me are stored.
Yes.
No, or referenced in the primal brain.
In the primal, okay.
So that you can go through a hypnosis session or somebody who knows how to access them just by connecting with your energy. They can say, "Oh, this is what you did in your past life. You were this and this." Have you ever had one of those readings? Very interesting.
Well, you know, Tori's left here, man. He's he got hit by a car and then hit, knocked up in the air and then run over. Attempt murder, misidentification, and left here, and then came back. And the people at the hospital tell you about the power of love. They were blown away. They kept asking, like, "Who is this guy?" Because the people who were showing up, because I tell Self, it's just the way it was a testament. You got to get your roses in life, bro. It's a testament to how you treat people and how you live your life. Because you know, good quality people. Not everybody. We're all human, but good quality people, came to see about them and kept coming back and checking up on them. But he left here. You know what I mean? But I wonder if can you regress them back to that?
Yes. Those memories are there. They never leave you. They're part of I keep mispronouncing that word. Accestic records, the records of your life. Akashic records. And then the belief is, once you start accessing those things, you can ask questions like, how many times have I been here? When do I get to my higher self? And so forth.
That was in The Matrix and some other movies. Go ahead.
Almost, where do those concepts come from? Because again, science knowledge is infinite. We just scratch the surface on some of these concepts and stuff. And a lot of times, like we were talking about before, people don't go out the belief system that somebody else gives them by studying and researching and everything else. When you start researching and experiencing this, for example, when I first started doing what we call PLR sessions on people, past life regression, I was like, okay, let me try this. Then people start coming back, telling me what they saw, or it's like a two-way communication thing happening during the hypnosis session. Most of the time you see hypnotist, the hypnotist is talking and the person is just doing. This is two-way communication. The other person is talking back to you, And then when you try it yourself, because I tried it myself, I said, I ain't never seen that stuff before. What the heck was that?
Right.
What was that?
Well, what do they call that writing? When you just write and you just put your pen. What kind of writing?
Scripted?
Yeah. No. It's like a spiritual writing.
Oh, that's different. Yeah,
it's a term for it. Yeah, and it's you put your pen to the paper and then it just kind of starts.
Goes.
Yeah,
that's almost like what people use Ouija boards in the past.
Yeah, like or speaking in tongues. It's supposed to be like that. Yeah, and some people can do that.
Yeah, we have this ability to connect to this other, dimension, the spiritual world or whatever, but we don't pay attention to. Even when it happens, I think it happens to all of us all the time. There's like the voices and stuff like that, but we don't know how to tap into it. So you have to pay attention to when those voices come to. What did I just do? How did I just do that?
Well, here's
another example. One more thing. This is another example. I really believe in manifesting stuff. I'm sitting at my desk one day and I go, man, I wouldn't mind making some extra money so I can buy me a motorcycle. And I put it out there a certain way. And then the next day I get multiple emails. Anthony, can you do this job for me? Can you do this for me? I'm like, oh, wow, look what just happened. And that's amazing. And I'm starting to understand how to tap into that a little bit more. Not absolute yet, but getting there, It's amazing how we're all connected. And when you do good things, you attract good things. Evil cannot stand to be in the same place that good energy is. Just like if you go into a room and you start talking about positive stuff, what's the first thing to leave? All the negative stuff. Oh, he's talking that positive stuff again. I gotta get out of here. They can't stand it.
It's almost like a demon comes out.
Yeah, they can't stand it. It runs. Even if you're not talking about like the things, we're just having a positive day and say, man, everything's going great for me. Their life is wonderful. I'm so grateful. And people go, what's that wrong with her? I usually come in and we talk about people. We put other people down. I can't stand that conversation. you know?
You're
And it
considered
runs.
crazy now. You're considered crazy in most of our communities if you're happy.
Man.
You're weird.
Well, why is
if you're
that guy
happy.
always smiling? What's wrong with him?
Yes.
You know?
Yep. Yep.
Releases endorphins to help everything, go better anyway.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah,
and
it
then
helps
the
me and
negative
helps
stuff-
you, Self.
yeah.
That's the negative
One
stuff.
smile helps two people. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
negative
Sorry.
stuff runs out the room. Watch it. It'll run. It's like, I don't want to be here. Let me get out of here. What the heck is this person trying to do? Giving me positive energy. You know? And if you keep
Facts.
doing it, here's the meditation side of it too. You keep doing it, you keep becoming mindful of doing that, what happens? All of a sudden you just start attracting more of that. And becomes more abundant and everything else, you know. You're just like, man, look what's going on here. I can't believe 6 months ago I was this, and now
Yep.
I'm here.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
amazing. What just
Yep.
happened? I changed my mentality, changed the way I think
Yep.
about stuff. I did research. I didn't know, just let people tell me stuff. And then I chose to be happy, you know.
Man, I can't wait to unpack your book, bro. So
Yeah.
once Self Love and I finish, it won't take us
Yes.
forever. We'll schedule it. You'll probably be we got 2 authors, lined up. So you'll probably be number 4 in the series. We already did number 1, but we'll let you know. And then also, do you have any shout outs or big ups, as we call them, that you want to send out?
Not really. Well, people I like to shout out to is you all for what you're doing here. When I said, when I see the theme of the show, self-love and stuff like that, you see how I'm connected with my book on that topic. And I really
Yes.
believe in that people need to love themselves and then they need to give that love to others. And when that happens, the stuff that we talk about, lots of changes can happen in our lives, other people's lives, and everything else. And it's just not a thought, but it's an action. You have to do the work. You have to say the words. You have to be an activist for love, just like what you're doing with your program. So my shout out is to you all for what you're doing, and reaching out to people. You're starting off, and just like the Brain Bully said, you're gonna grow. Once people really understand that this is about helping them, and you're doing this because you're passionate about that, they should gravitate to it. But I know we have challenges there too. So word of mouth and just keeping it going, keeping that energy out there. I know lots of shout outs to you all and the work that you're doing. I just think it's wonderful, at the end of the day. Because you can also, like we say, choose to do something else with your time. You don't have to do this, always choose something else. But you chose to have a program about love and education and making people aware of stuff. So my shout out to you all, and I'm glad to be a part of what you're doing.
And we thank you for joining the Give Back Gang, because Self Love and I, we tell every guest it's an information exchange. So this whole process is, for me, it's more than just a show, right? So, what we set out to do is to show our people, that we're not all just gun toting, whatever it is that society wants to depict us as, but more importantly, to be mentors for the mentorless.
I'm an example of that.
Correct.
I'm from those places.
Correct.
Multiple projects. That
Correct.
was what family was,
Correct. They know about
And
Cabrini Greens in Turkey.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, everywhere. And then I tell people, I said, that's the place. I said, the real challenge is the mentality. So once you break away from the mentality, you break away from the project inside of you. So that's where it's at. It's all over Chicago now. They thought they were breaking something up. Now they just spread it like a virus all over Chicago.
Correct.
The mentality, and they can't contain it. They say, oh, they're shooting over here. They're doing over here. They're doing it.
All by plan.
How do we do this? Well, they had them contained almost,
Yeah.
And Cabrini Green and everything else. I remember even hearing a story. I don't think it was true. They say no reason why they put the projects by the expressway, so they could bring tanks in easy. Bring the army in easy because of the highways and stuff. Easy access to those areas. So if something went down, they can make sure that they, able to get there, and they're not,
And they know inhaling all those fumes wasn't going to be good for you.
That's right.
That
too.
Yeah. And then, so another part, the last thing about our show, bro, is, the personal growth and development, so self-love and we'll take a lot of topics that's about the macro, to be about, our society. And then, just through the process of listening and talking to everybody, it's gonna, through osmosis, if nothing else, we want to show everyone, hey, look, we just started with some faith, started with some belief, like with the picture EmerG show behind them. And then look at us X number of days, months, years later, and glory to, God, glory to self.
Facts.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Corey, and the story that you all were just saying about the hospital thing and stuff, have you all recorded that? You talked about that? Is that one of the sessions that you got out there? I would love to hear that story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was last week. I can send you the link. Yeah.
Yeah, send me the link to that.
Yeah.
What, last week we talked about, wait, what story?
When you said he left here.
Yeah,
you talking about me left here. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, your story, that personal story that you sort of just shared.
He talked about, we do have a show where he talked about it. So if it didn't get deleted,
it was.
No, it didn't get deleted.
Well, when you get a chance, if you find it, send me the link.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that. I'm always curious about those perspectives and everything else. Like I said, knowledge is infinite,
I'll say this. You might get to know intimately, because I might come to you for a situation.
And let me ask you, Self, if you didn't have the little ones, would you have come back?
I probably would not have.
I know a lot of parents who've been on the other side. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's why this is something else I tell people. I say, if you got a loved one in the hospital, they're in a coma or something, I said, they're in a happy place. So you need to talk to them. You need to tell them why you need them to come back. Yeah. Their subconscious mind hears that. They can get that message to them.
Or you could tell them, I don't need you to come back. And if you want to leave, that's okay too. Because a lot of times they're listening to our pain and they're struggling. So, but I hear you.
Yeah. So do the message right. That's what I'm saying too, based on like what you're saying. So don't just go in there and rub their hand and say, "Oh, I'm here for you." That's, you got to give them the message, and we know that in our real lives, or the life we look at today, the message has to be delivered the right way. You know what I mean?
Well, the lady was using evil, and she knocked Tori on his empath. In other words, he's always been empathic, but he was off his path. And it's a metaphor itself. I never metaphor I didn't like, and she knocked you back on your empath, bro.
It's facts.
Yeah. Father probably told you, if you coming back, you gonna be you.
Yeah. My son was the same age I was when my father left. And it was gonna be repeating the same situation.
Back to when you said, I've been here before, Anthony Orr. That was probably him thinking, man, I've been here before with his dad. That was you, Self, thinking, not again. I've been here. Yeah.
I had this lady read my, I'm going to mispronounce it again, Artistic Records. And she told me, I say it again, I'm going to get this right one day, Tori.
Akashic.
She read my Akashic Records. And I'll tell you what she told me. She says, you're an old magician. That you have lots of skills and you're teaching people all the time in this life and everything else. She said, all those countries you went to, before I even told I've been to a lot of, so all those places you've been to, those were places you've been in previous lives. And she said, one in particular, Italy, because I've been to over 60 countries now. She said, Italy has a very special place. I'm like, huh? I said, man, I connected when I went to Italy. I was like, man, this place.
And so probably why you couldn't come up with Capone's name. So probably something there. Probably why you couldn't come up with Al Capone's name.
Yeah, but
it's probably
she's
something there, bro.
Yeah, but she's telling me these things. And I'm like, whoa. Then she told me, she said, this life, you chose to come back. But you're finished with your journey. You made a choice to come back. Because you like helping people. And you got that magical, mystical quality about you. Because I've been empathic too. you know, and so forth. And she's telling me these things and just hitting on certain key things. I'm like, oh, gee. I say, this is very interesting. First time I had it done, I'm like, this lady is something else. You know?
and at the end of the day, everything matters, but then yet it doesn't matter. And, you know,
the
but
concept
I
of
know
life
what
is an
you
illusion.
said. Yes. Yes.
What you focus on happens. Like if you focus on it and you, I guess, believe, I don't like that term, but if you know that it's going to happen and you focus on it, it will happen in this environment that, we are part of.
Yeah, you could choose to have a terrible day and it's going to happen.
Man.
You can have a terrible day and change it just like that to a good day.
Yes.
Yeah, but as you focus on it, the voice is going to give you you have to do something. The voice is going to,
guidance.
You can't just focus. You're just going to be sitting on a mountain focusing.
Exactly.
When
You have to pay attention.
The voice is going to propel you on actions to take, and you have got to take those actions.
And that's what I was just ready to say. You have to pay attention. Know you're paying attention. Then you have to do the work. You have to do the work.
Yeah.
And you say,
yeah, because the universe is going to give you the whole path, right? It's going to give you're in a maze, so to speak. It's going to lay it out for you. This is the way to go toward. This is the way to go 9. And it's kind of step by step.
Faith
the
with
yellow
no
brick road
works.
I have a meetup group that I teach hypnosis, and the way the meetup group goes, and we talk about different hypnosis things. In the second half, I actually give a session to all the people that come, and they just love coming there for the session at the end. I haven't did it lately, but I'll probably schedule another one in about 2 weeks or so. But they'll come and do that, The other part of that is that we almost lost it ready to say, is that sometimes when we're talking, we give people that advice. It says, instead of giving the message of, why did this happen to me and this is bad and stuff, you ask the question, how do I change? How do I do this? And those answers come to you. You have to ask the how questions versus the pity me and and so forth and why. How do I do this? How do I get out of this situation? How do I make money? Or you just say, I want to make more money.
Well, that's why the simple disciplines like working out every day, whatever it is, getting up, making up your bed, brushing your teeth, simple disciplines, but mainly working out. You start feeling the pain and the quote unquote pain, that's a meditation. You start coming to the understanding self. You're doing a lot of gardening, the work, sometimes it's hot, you're bending it over and this and that, but then you start seeing, the fruits of your labor and the harvest coming in and so after a while you start saying to yourself, well, like they say, enjoy the journey. Right. So after a while, you start saying to yourself, don't separate the pain of the journey, the practice. Don't separate the practice of those missed shots when you went 0 for 100 from the game when you went 100 from 100. Don't separate that because you can't appreciate going 100 for 100 if you didn't go 0 for 100.
And when you do the work in your own garden, the fruit, the vegetables taste so much better.
Oh my God!
Somebody else doing
Self's been saying it. Yeah, he's been saying
oh my
it.
God!
Because your love is,
it's nothing like when you.
Oh my God! Yesterday I had zucchini and tomatoes and onions.
Yeah, but if you take that from an abstract perspective into other things in your life,
correct?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Bro, they say water is like
everything's
that.
related. Everything's related like that.
Yes, I am in a highly growth state. Highly growth. I am growing immensely and paying very close attention to a lot. And man, I got a lot of growth to do, but
we all do.
Yeah, and I'm on it though.
That's why, some people, even in my IT career, they say, oh, you're an expert. So I don't believe in that term expert. I still got so much to learn. But so what, I wrote some books. So what, I did that. I said, that's just part of the knowledge that's out there. There's still so much. I said, I always have to humble myself with relative.
Yeah,
then I know more doors are going to open. More knowledge is going to be given to me. Because like we say, I'm emptying my cup,
all of us
full already.
All of us are subject to that 12% that, holds back our infinite potential. The breakthrough, that's where we need to figure out the breakthrough for all of us. Y'all got a higher understanding, but y'all still ain't, you can help other people get there. We need a symbiotic relationship so we can, we all can get there. And then, man.
Yeah. That's what EmerG said. It's a whole lexicon change. It's a mind shift.
Yeah.
That's why I had in the title, in the description, to taboo or not taboo. It's just we've taken a lot of stuff. When I say we, I mean our community, and just warped it into a gumbo of nonsense. People parroting something they heard from the next person, and from the next person and the next person.
Yeah, and we become zombies. We jump on the bandwagon quick. We don't research. We don't think for ourselves. Just like we were talking about the hypnosis process. Until you sort of understand it, you very easily influenced.
They make zombies. They make zombies by a plant that grows over there. It's a drug, and it and it does something to the human physiology, and the person who's in the zombie state can hear and everything around them, and then they kidnap the body or whatever, and it's usually to pay off a debt. It was usually to pay off a debt. People didn't just do that, but Hollywood made it. I'm not justifying it. It's not something I would do, but so it wasn't as magical. It is magic though, because someone knew how to do that. Imagine knowing how to use that. But yes, you have to do the research, for yourself. If we got a hold of some of those books you talked about, Italy, some of that stuff in the Vatican, that they don't put out there, right?
Sure.
You talk about right.
Yeah, all those secrets that they keep down there, so people can stay in their place. That they know about. And
like that, like the Aborigines being slaughtered.
Unbelievable place too. You walk through there and everything else, you're just like, wow. Then down beneath you in the basement, which you can see the grapes and stuff, are all those secrets and the catacombs and some of the bodies and everything else and so forth.
It's a very special place on the planet.
As far as vortex energy.
And energetically, it's like, so that's why they picked that for that purpose. It had been a center for a long time before that ever became what they're making.
Yeah, and Israel too. Israel, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, unbelievable experience going there, especially if you know the stories and then you interact with the people and stuff like that. You're just like, wow.
Especially when you're empathic and you feel the energy in the land when you're there.
Yes. And then you go, what the heck are these people thinking? Why are they doing this? Don't they understand they won? Why are they misguided like this? Which we're always misguided by government and everything else. They tell us all type of stuff, and people don't want to be that way. I was in for example, here's another story for you. I was in Taiwan one time. And usually when I go to different countries, I like going off the beaten path, acting like a native, taking public transportation and everything else. So I'm in Taiwan, and I decided to go to the snake market where they got snakes, big snakes, little snakes, and people eating them, drinking the blood and everything else. I'm going there and looking through, plus they got a little shopping area. So I'm like, wow, look at this. Look at all these live snakes around here. And they sit at the table and they just yum, 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 But on my way to the snake market, being empathic, there was a stop. I said, oh man. So when I come back, for some reason, I need to get off at this stop. So I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna walk around this neighborhood. So I go to the snake market, I come back, I get off at that stop, and I'm walking around the neighborhood. And I come to this Buddhist temple. And I go, man, this is different. It's like in a shopping mall, strip mall type area. Right. So I haven't seen one like this. I'm looking in because it's always very ornamental and everything else. One of the monks does like this. He says, and I go, look around. Me? He said, yeah, come on in. I said, nah, sign language talk. Nah.
Right.
And I'm looking around. 3 minutes later, he's standing right next to me. he says, hi, you speak English, right? I said, yes. So where are you from? I said, United States. And he's talking. And we stood there for about an hour talking about people, politics, religion, and things like that. I was like, oh man, I was drawn to this area to have this conversation with him. Because most of the other temples I've been to, with the monks or Confucius temples, they just look right past you, just beg for money. I said, this one interacted with me. I said, that was amazing. That I tell people all the time, all the places I've been to, it's nothing like the people interactions, that energy and everything else. I can see a building or a temple, even though there are some very interesting temples, you know, like the Golden Child, you know, me and a friend of mine, we went to one place in China where they say this is something for the Golden Child. We took pictures. None of the pictures came out.
Wow.
When we went into that area, we started joking. Like, oh, the Golden Child, you know, da-da-da. We laughing.
Right.
And we're taking pictures. We get home, none of the pictures are there.
Yeah.
I said, my friend name is Tony. I said, Tony, you get any pictures from that temple? He said, no, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm like, what the hell? What happened?
Hey.
You know, but the story about the monk, you know, it was just so interesting that, you know, when you listen to those voices again, let's get off at this stop, walk around, look at this neighborhood. See, yep,
expansion happens. Expansion happens.
Yep. I have experiences like that all the time in Israel and Jerusalem and you know, in Italy and you know, all the other places I've been to. So.
I had one in Chicago. I get flashes of that. I used to run every day in Hyde Park and you know, head towards the lakefront. And when I left the house, it was like storm coming, flash storm, highly electrical. This was all over the news. I barely pay attention to that, you know. It's all over the news, you know, highly electrical flash storm, you know. And so it was to the point where my wife was even like, you gonna go run anyway? And I'm like, yeah, you know, can't use no excuse, right? I would run 40 below. If it was hot, if it was 110, you know, just get your run in. So long story short, it was a spot where the guys play chess, just one little, maybe one or maybe two tables that was in the park, you know, and the guys would play chess. And they would be out there every day I ran, you know, maybe say hello, but never stopped and chatted. So I'm just running, bro. These are elders, older men. I'm just jogging. And I said, brothers, man, y'all might not, because they were right under a tree. And I said, bro, you know, you guys might not want to be out here. Something told me to say something to them because normally I don't, right? Because they said it's a big storm coming. It's very electrical, you know, and you know, I was sounding like my grandmother, you know what I mean? And you know, and I guess the way I said it. So when I came back on my route, they were gone. The next day, no, in fact, I said it to them on the way back. I don't remember, but the next day, when I went by there, that tree that was next to them was split in half. And those guys was like, man, you're the guy who told us to leave. And they were like, you saved our life. They said, as soon as they packed up and left, that thing hit. And yeah, shortly thereafter. Yeah. So I have moments of that. Yes. Yes.
Amazing. You know,
imagine if I would have just stayed in the house that day, they would have been dead.
Yeah, or don't say stuff to people. You know, the book, The Secret, talks about that. It says we meet people in our lives, we have to communicate. We have to tell them, you know, because now, like with my hypnosis stuff, I meet people and something says, yeah, tell them, you know, I'll do it. For example, I took my daughter to the beauty shop, dropped off, and she said, Dad, I'm ready. I get there and the lady says, oh, I'll be another 20 minutes or so. I'm like, oh, gee, I don't want to sit in this beauty shop. So I'm sitting there and this guy is standing up there. He says, oh man, my back is killing me. He said, oh, gee. I said, I can help you with that. He said, what? You know, like, who are you? What do you mean you can help me with that? I said, well, I do hypnotherapy. I said, if you sit in this chair, you're going to be hypnotized and the pain is going to go away and you're going to feel so much better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're like, what? That really work? I said, yeah. I said, but if you sit in this chair, if you really want it, that's what's going to happen. you know, which hypnosis, we call that presupposition. So by me making you believe that you're sitting in that chair, et cetera, it's going to happen.
Right.
So I go back talking to my daughter, and he says, okay, I want to try it. I said, okay, sit in the chair. Poof, pain gone. And every time that happens, people always look for the pain to go. What happened? Where did it go? You know? And I meet people like that all the time. I used to when I first started, because I'm like, man, people may think I'm weird or something. So I'll forget that. I don't care what people think.
Right.
I say, if I get drawn to tell somebody.
If you got the gift, you got to use it.
Period.
Exactly. And I always tell people, I said, my gift is a gift from God, you know, that He's given me to help people. I said, the best thing you do with a gift is give it away.
Or you get sick if you don't. You know, that PR book was.
Exactly.
You do. Yeah, you get sick if you don't. I mean, you know, that PR book was talking about that point exactly, bro. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah, so I do that all the time. I met people, I can get my car fixed, say, oh, go talk to that person. Say, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. Then they say, what you do? I say, I work in IT, but I also do hypnotherapy. Really? Does that work? I say, yeah. I said, well, if you're interested, here's my email. Don't let me know. And I give you a session.
Yeah.
One person like that contacted me 3 weeks later. It was just weighing heavy on her mind, you know? And she says, huh? She said, hey, you remember me from the, I said, yeah, I remember you. She said, I want a session. I said, okay, what you want to work on? She said, well, my father passed away and I've been grieving ever since and I can't, stop crying and everything else. So, okay. And she said, I can't get along with my mother. We just talking about conflict resolution. I can't get along with my mother. I can't stand to be in the house with her for 5 minutes. I went to visit her as soon as I walked in, I left and went to a hotel, and we talked by the phone and I couldn't stay on the phone with her. One session, all that changed. Second session got even better. Now her mother talks all the time and everything else. She used to live in Houston. She moved to Atlanta. She sent me a note, said, Anthony, there's so many people that need your help in Atlanta. Thank you again so much.
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of it be if you just cut the TV off.
Yeah, but the other part of that is that, like I said, what you all are doing, when you're reaching out to people, that's important. You just never know who needs to hear that message.
Correct.
To help them and change them without you expecting anything. Because like I was telling you about my friends and Anthony, why don't you go to church? Not about what you can get, what you can give. And when you change your perspective that way, it's better than receiving money. That feeling that you get.
You were talking about the Aborigines, and you were talking about the people need to talk and communicate. And they said Aborigines, they had a custom. I think they were in Australia. And if they ran up on you, it was in a remote area. So if they came across a stranger, they had to literally sit there and talk to each other until they figured out their 6 degrees of separation, until they figured out where they were related. And they said that this process sometimes could take months, weeks, and they had to, they'll go back to your house and hang out. They said because if you didn't figure it out, you had to fight. So in other words, it was no just walking past people and hey stranger and all of that. That is powerful how to run a community.
Yes, it
you
is.
You can't put a blick to somebody's head if that is how you were raised as a boy.
You're right. And then you look at them as a person.
You have to. Yes.
They're living, they have needs and wants and feelings and emotions.
Imagine if they were doing that in Cabrini Greens, where you lived at, how bad it was. If they told all the kids, when you see somebody on the elevator, wherever, you talk to them and figure out how y'all related and how we know each other, right? It seems crazy and like a big waste of time, but it would stop all the killing.
That's no. When you say that, that's what I always liked about the Muslim religion, because I went to Saudi Arabia a few times too, and I was watching them and everything else. And then number of things happened. But one of the things I kept seeing, they stop, they pray. Then right after the prayer stuff, I have a meeting with a group of them. They come to that meeting so happy, so mellow, so content, unlike any other meetings I've been to. And then I was speaking over there, and I was speaking to like one time like 300 or 400 people at a time, and I talked about IT stuff. But the guy who started the session, first thing he did, he got up on stage. He said, "I want to thank everybody for being here, especially our women," and da 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 da, etc. Then I'm going, this perspective of how they treat their women. I say it's wrong. It's not what you think. They treat them like princesses. And they don't want their princesses to drive. They want them to do this, but they want to drive. They really insist on it. Okay,
yeah, they got all that from
know?
Africa. They got all that from Africa. The woman is the earth. Is the origin. Is you can't make babies without the woman. So the woman was cherished. So yes,
and the respect and stuff like that. And then I saw something. I was near Mecca, the airport that people go to Mecca when they go on for their pilgrimage.
Yeah, where they take the Hajj. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm there in the airport. I'm thinking about, what I've been learning so far, because I'm really over there for work, And one of the things the guy, he said, Anthony, when we go to the mall and stuff, he said, I see you taking pictures of stuff. Don't take pictures of any of the women, even though they're all draped. He says, that's disrespectful and go to jail and stuff like that. I said, okay. He said, even if you sort of do it on the slide, somebody sees you, he said, I think I was in, I forgot which city I was in. So I said, okay. And then I get to the airport by Mecca, and all these people are coming in for their pilgrimage. And then I see the men half dressed, with a sheet wrapped around them, and certain parts of their bodies exposed. So I looked to my friend, I said, please explain this to me. I don't understand. I said, a woman can be all covered and everything else, but now a man comes in here half naked? What's the deal? I said, what about the mindset and the religion and everything else? He said, Anthony, I explained, you don't understand. He said, those people dressed like that are going on their pilgrimage to Mecca. I said, when we go to Mecca, everybody's the same. You see the thing that they're wearing, the sheet or whatever, that's the same sheet that guy's going to be married in, because we don't believe in class and status and everything else. You're not going to wear jewelry when you're married or anything else. So when you go into the city of Mecca, you're a person.
Great. Yeah.
You're a person.
I hear you.
You don't have any status or anything. And then it's about brotherly and sisterly love, that we look at each other that way. Much longer explanation. But I get this, but I already knew part of that, because I know the way we perceive things, even nudity and stuff, is based on that person's perspective. Is it shameful? Is it nasty? Is it what? And things like that. So, for example, if you've ever been on a cruise or to a beach that is topless, in the second, you forget that people are topless.
Right.
Like, I forget that.
Yeah, but you're
walking
that's a
around
whole
here.
other show, and I got the producer in my ear. If we go on too long, nobody's ever going to watch it. It's been like 4 hours, so we got to wrap this up, bro. I hate to cut you off, but we got to wrap.
I can talk forever, but
we all can, man. But I got the producer in my ear, and we're going to bring you back. So there's going to be more. We got to leave some meat on the bone, brother. We got to leave some meat on the bone.
A lot of meat left.
Yeah, because if it goes too long, nobody watches it. Self Love and I, we know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know how that is. So
yeah, so. Bro, we love you, man, and we would definitely bring you back. Self, you got something to add?
Man, thank you. You've helped expand the Self Love Nation. And, I am going to speak to you about using your service. And we don't kick anybody out, but, we let everybody.
I understand completely. This could go on to a couple more days if we let it. So.
Yeah, we definitely have to stop.
It'd be like a retreat.
Yeah. But bro, it's been phenomenal, man, and we appreciate you doing this. And again, I'll reach out to you after Self Love and I finish the book. So we appreciate you, man.
Okay. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate being here too.
Yes, sir.
I hope your listeners and stuff learned something. Like I said, they want to know more. Hypnosis.anthony@gmail.com. I love engaging in this conversation. Very passionate about
it. Y'all got it? So y'all got it. All right, bro. And one love, brother.
One love.
Yes, for sure. For sure. All right. Signing off. All right.
Magnanimous, bro. Unanimous.
Man,
I'll tell you that much.
Whew. Jewel Factory, like, man, one of the I learned so much. I just say that. I absorbed.
Very expansive.
Man, it a lot of it opened my vision to like what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Man.
It opened my vision because I'm like, whoa, all right, now I see that.
He does seem like he's in tune to he doesn't he?
Yeah. Facts. I mean, him and the Brain Bully. It was a very expansive experience. Like,
yeah, man. I mean, I wonder just how far I can go, man. Like, I mean, you know, I'd really like to see some science on that in our community, you know, and not conducted by Harvard, you know, conducted by, you know, we don't need Lavendar and Horowitz, you know.
I'm, you know, willing to learn under those guys. You know what I mean? At least get some information and learn about a whole, because I got a lot of information. I need some guidance.
Hey, yeah, well, you know what? It's coming. It is coming. And you guys, we're going to drop in the comments after we end this live stream the link so you can purchase Brother War's book. And so that way we can all be in alignment, you know, once we decode that joint, right? Self Love.
Yes, sir. Because that's going to be a whole nother discussion, because we are led by spirit, but we bring it to you like no other.
That's right. So what does Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common? It's the riddle of the day.
Man, there was so many jewels. I didn't get it at the beginning. I ain't making no excuses. I don't know. I ain't heard. I don't feel, you know what I mean?
Hey, well, I mean, you know, we've all been uninformed, you know, from time to time. So, you know what I mean? And hey, it stumped other people. So I wouldn't take that personally. You know, we had other cats on here, you know.
I'm not.
You know what I mean? And nobody in the chat typed the answer in there. Let's see, where's the answer? Let's see. Torrey, we did that. Torrey question. Big ups, plug the guest. Halftime. Hold on, Self Love. All right, here we go. Shit, are you serious? Okay, I'm gonna read it to you again, and you'll figure it out. What does Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
Well, I guess after further review, the V.
The Self Love Show. I should have had that. What does Winnie the Pooh and the Self Love Show have in common? That would have been yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know.
People,
I like that.
The sneak peek for you know, the August 4th show. Self Love and I, we got things we're working on in our kenneling. You know, so we'll let you know when the big producer, the executive producer, Yashua
lays it all down and puts everything in order.
Yeah, as soon as we know, there'll be a promo video, and
you already know.
It's all facts. So it's all facts. And then, so you cats tomorrow, Mouthpiece included, right here on a live stream. Who would you want, you know, in holy matrimony? Who would you want to give your daughter away to if you had a gun to your head out there? Richard Sherman out there? I'm going to do it. I've been drinking, you know? Or, you know, Trevor Bauer. Oh, boy, Trevor Bauer, boy. Oh, allegedly. on both of them. All right. So that's what we're going to unpack. And yeah, and Puig. Self, I didn't realize Puig got banned because he had some allegations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that what happened out there?
Yeah, pretty much. He had some allegations of something that allegedly happened. I think it was at Dodger Stadium. No, it happened at where the Lakers play.
Oh,
I think somebody said it wasn't consented, allegedly. And then,
oh,
well, I don't know, but he was getting blackballed. But then he was going to sign a contract. But then, what happened? Oh, he tested positive for COVID, right? And then once he got cleared from COVID, they didn't want him no more.
Yeah, they did the research after. Probably.
Probably never had COVID in the first place. Tell him he's got COVID. We need to think about this. Right.
Hold on. Out there.
Do some more research.
Yeah.
You
don't have to take the whole thing, but we'd have to pay him something.
You remember he used to flip the stick and, lick the bat and all that. And he was just, wouldn't run down the line. Come on, Self. You played baseball. I played too, but you played a lot longer and a lot more serious than me. You're a purist. Not running down the line. Not running at all.
Yeah. Hey, that's just disrespectful.
The whole locker room clubhouse supposed to whoop his what?
Ass.
Yeah.
I would try to hit the ball to the third baseman and get to second base. That's what was my goal. Like, knowing that really wasn't gonna happen, but I had to get to first base first.
But how many times, so somebody bobbled it and you beat it out?
Dive in there, out there, be like, "Oh, save!" They like, "Whoa!"
And it
puts, hit a chopper to the third baseman and get the second.
And it puts pressure on it. It puts pressure on that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys don't run the bases, don't want to run bases, you guys can all just take steroids and swing for the fences, and we can we can hire fans to what? Be the base runners.
Man.
But yeah, I digress. And all right, so you guys so check us out, like, share, subscribe. We're gonna toss this over here to my favorite part of the whole shebang, and that is Brother Wordsmith's final words. Yeah.
Okay. Man, I learned a lot. It's been put together like an intricate plot. The subconscious mind don't stop. It keeps going and growing. It makes things happen for you. Because most of y'all don't decide what you do. Y'all programmed from a low plan. It's got you leading your flock to a low land. Not even considered human. So reconsider what you're doing. If you don't know how to do that, find some professionals that can end your confusion. We had a couple here today. Reach out and say, "Hey, I need to get it together. And it ain't no time to play." Because the truth is you are in control. Like they said, everything is self. Hypnotization. So, want to change yourself, make a different choice. Choose love, which is elevation. TATN. Woo! That's EmerG right there.
Brain Bully. Well said, Self Love. That was well said, bro.
Oh, much appreciation.
Yes, sir. Bullets. Bullets are boomerangs, G.
Man, you better stand your ground.
Murder is suicide.
Yeah, because an eye for an eye.
But some of y'all, I really don't get you. They said that you might die and you went and bought some tissue. Like you really this shit.
Silence. Silence is violence.
Yo, you see something, say something.
12, Swale, Jake, Dirty.
Watch out now. Watch it.
Greed plus ego over fear. That's slavery.
Facts.
Greed. Hey, get your money out here. Hey, get your money. Ain't nothing.
No. Hold up. Charity plus humility times love is freedom, slave.
Freedom. Charity. I'm supposed to give what I ain't got. Self love. Don't answer questions, brother.
Man. Question everything.
Man, everybody dying, man. They got the Delta. They got the Delta variant, and they got this and that, and the people dying, man, and people getting shot, and everywhere you go, they get blicked out, man. And you know what? Self-love, fear, fear is an illusion.
Fact.